All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful day. We got an interesting day ahead. It's still kind of quiet in terms of news. You do get the Fed minutes. We did get to hear a couple of random updates here and there on various industries. But the trade stuff, it's all getting punted towards August. We are going to be looking out for the bond auction. That is your other event. And then when it does come down to the minutes, we talked about Japan yesterday. So like I'll tell you, man, I think it's going to be very simple. If the minutes could fuck with the rates, that could fuck with Japan. If the minutes don't, then I don't think we're going to have anything to worry about, baby. So we will see where it takes us, Chatadonia. But God bless you and good morning. We've already gone over everything. And now we have about 55 seconds. So good morning, and let's have a good one. If you need anything, let me know. Please read the rules. Don't get banned. You don't need a poster plays. You don't need a flex, but information is always valuable, and I hope we could let you into our little cult. So that's good. High standards, baby. Amen. Amen. Security. All right, Ernest, we're gonna need you around August. So either beginning or end of August, Ernest. You're called. You're called, brother. You're called. EU to remove UAE and Gibraltar money from laundering gray list. Oh, you're on the flight? Oh, hell, wow, that's crazy. You already did 12 hours, bro? Nice. I thought we were going to be with you for all of it, but 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Fight. All right, so pre-market, you actually kind of edged up. It wasn't like that in the morning. I even noticed a couple of things here. But yeah, you're actually starting off pretty good, bro. 0.5% up. Not bad at Henry Howard. Oh, you emailed me about it? Oh, no way, Henry. Are you really an architect? No. No. Dude, let's do it. But yeah, if for real, though. Because if you are an architect, I think it'd be cool. I could hire somebody, but like they offered me. They told me yesterday. They were like, if you have a Chad, I said, I think I do. So let's see. Amen, bro. Amen. You work with the acclaimed firm in Beverly Hills. Let's do it, bro. We might have some mutual friends. I love it, dude. Hell yeah. Well, amen, bro. I will hit you up after the bell for sure. Or I'll see. Let me see if I could have somebody. I could have the guy helping me out. They could kind of get us in touch too. But thank you for reaching out. Oil's going up. That's what I was going to tell you. I saw that right off the open. You were getting some oil again. You had some weird stuff with Europe, and then don't even like weird in terms of just the currency moving. And then remember, Germany hit the high yesterday. Germany's up 30% on the year. I don't think people are aware of that. Yeah, Boeing, they're coming up. You also even had upgrades from the solar stocks. Equal weight is actually, damn, this is tech. So you're up by 0.4 right now, 0.5 on the NASDAQ. This is big tech leading. Equal weight's up, but not as much. Where's your boy Elon? BA moving hard. Oxy and oil. So remember, just like airlines and oil and energy, remember the last 3 days in a row, they start off one way and then it turns into another. So just be mindful of that. There's Palantir on the high. NVIDIA, 52-week high. You guys remember healthcare yesterday. That was our leader in the morning. And then biotechs. Damn. So, dude, fucking biotechs are ripping. So, literally, the whole, like, biotech or the biotech tariffs is not doing anything, bro. Remember, they dumped yesterday. And now they're coming up. My email is tradingfraternity@gmail.com. Yeah, dude, Europe is crazy. Again, NVIDIA, there's a lot of green right now, so very different to what you had yesterday. No real driver, if anything. Like I said, the odd part is you probably had more bad news, more hawkish news in the last 48 hours than not. Trump says anybody but too late. Truth Social. So Trump is tweeting in relation to firing Powell. He said he'll take anybody. Anybody but too late. If you were the last Fed chair on Earth, I would die. I don't even care. Anybody but too late. I'll take Nancy. Give me Nancy. I'll take Joe. Joe's terrible. And I'd take him. So, yeah. Hassett. I think Hassett is, that's weird. I think it's going to be Bessent. So people keep bringing up Hassett, another one. Tesla's ripping, but I think it's going to be your boy Bessent. I think he's a way better treasurer, but he's the guy, bro. So we'll see. Yeah, dude, a video 163, bro. Kind of crazy. Habibi. NVIDIA game. XLK. Now you got ARMS. Again, HIMS had Canada news taking advantage of a patent lap. But then even fucking NVO's up. And even Lilly. So now even Tandem, they had something this morning. We read over. What was that one play? I called out one of them. ALMU. They got the NASA contract, I believe. Yeah, they're up 17. Yeah, dude, they're selling, what, $800 million of stock? But it still went up. Same thing even with JP Morgan. But then JP Morgan also doing a gigantic buyback. Bro, so much green, and look at the bonds. So, yeah, I don't know. Today's a lot stronger than yesterday. You're really getting back a lot of the losses, but just everything is broadly, like, green, straight up, and small. Like, so this gap up right now, first couple minutes, you're pretty much right back to where we opened up yesterday. So all of yesterday got unwound in fucking 4 minutes of the cash open. so I'm like, man, it feels a little different than the last 2 days, but it's still kind of small. But then once again, you're still here. Now you got Tesla again. Mag 7, I think, is leading. I'm going to get you guys a checkup here in a little bit, but yeah, we just opened. On C. ANET on the high. MOPG. Staples starting to drop, actually. Hold on. There you go. That's your donkey. I didn't get a donkey. Nobody was talking shit to me on Twitter last night. But I think I joined the club last night. Shout out Toby, bro. I love Mr. Toby Turner. Dude, I don't know. He got me. I hope I'm Republican enough, bro. I don't know if I'm Republican enough, but I'll try. But other than that, the only other donkey of the day would probably be the Staples right now. Because like I'm telling you, we've been looking for that rotation since last week, but I'm telling you all the green here today. And then now Staples and certain consumer discretionaries and cyclicals are getting clapped right now. SBET on the low. A lot of the treasury damn, Boeing's at 227. Yeah, the Boeing plays are up 50%. Did we already make those free? I want to say I did. But yeah, if you got those old Boeings from last week, I think I got them around Bradley Frizzle time. You thought I made this space? Oh, no. No, yeah. I don't know. I think you guys joined it the same way I did. Because I saw Toby there. And like it said Toby is speaking. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting ready. I want to listen to Toby. And then I clicked it for Toby. And then before I knew it, it escalated. I loved it. I know, bro. NVIDIA record high, you guys. 4 trillion. Then SPY on the high. You also got Meta moving now. Caterpillar as well. Keep an eye out on oil and energy. Just remember last 2 days that gave us some early moves off the morning, and now today I'd say oil and energy is pretty tame. Actually, it is almost 1% though. SPY still holding up. Toyota's on the high now, still edging away. Toby is like one of the OG YouTubers in like the history of YouTube. That's what's crazy. I don't know if you know like iCarly and like, you know, the old YouTubers. Like pretty much I think Toby was doing videos before or shortly after PewDiePie. Again, I even found out stuff about him yesterday. I was like, no fucking way, that was Toby. So yeah, he's a cool dude, bro, and he's a Chad. I'm a big fan. That was one that I even kind of like when we saw Mr. DJ Lethal. I fanboyed a little bit. I was like, no fucking way they're a Chad. That's awesome. EVOK, that one was running in the morning, up 200. I don't know if they're related. Again, was it Verna? Verna, I believe, is getting bought out. Yeah, 107 by Merck. Toby Tabiscus, yes, the guy who did the songs. Exactly. Yeah, bro. SMCI. All right, Lennar too, and Home Builders. And dude, it was so crazy, bro. Lending tips, didn't he? Yeah, dude, like Pulte. So I have good news and bad news for you. Because remember, Pulte yesterday was like tweeting about the changes to the rent qualifications, and we were like tripping out. And then he kept complaining about how like nobody was talking about it, and he was like, nobody is making a story about all of this. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got good news and bad news for you guys. I talked to Lending Tips about it, and Lending Tips was not as excited. So pretty much he said, yeah, it'll help out a little bit, but LT is saying that it's not going to supersede the debt to income requirements. Because I don't know if you saw it. That was my first tweet back at Pulte. That was the first thing I said. I was like, how? I said, is this going to eliminate Dodd-Frank or not? And that's it. U.S. grants 45-day reprieve to Mexican finance firms hit by ban. Well, it doesn't matter about credit score. That's the whole point. What matters is your just debt to income. So that's what I was telling him. I was like, I was under the impression that, if you paid a $1,500 rent, if you don't have the debt to income, they'd still qualify you. But LT's saying no. He's saying that's probably not going to happen. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. I was a little excited yesterday, and people weren't really talking about it. But then again, so far, the first lenders, they have not been excited about it in that sense. Dollar cost average plus long term is profitability. That time, baby. Time in the market. And oil's starting to go now. Like I said, it's been decent, but as oil started moving the last couple days, so did your market. And then we're literally one red candle in the first 10 minutes. Hello. And you just got that Mexico headline. I said, pizza, pizza. They're on the high. Boeing's killing it. NVIDIA becomes first company to reach $4 trillion market cap. Congratulations, you guys. Congratulations. $4 trillion official. That's crazy, dude. I got my student loans paid off. 6 figures in the Roth. Closing on $50K long term. Thanks for changing my life, baby. Amen. Thank you for doing it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I love to see the beacons. Love to see the fruit, man. Amen. And now you're less likely to get pissed off for something trivial. You know that, right? Because you're like, okay. We'll overlook the Jesus freak. He did actually give us something that was virtuous. It was all right. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Google on the high. Hershey's on the low. Yeah, Microsoft's just jealous now of NVIDIA. Volkswagen extended China boss Brandstatter's contract ahead of schedule. Yeah, and now Baba's selling off. Whoa, Hershey's getting a little big. A couple more China names, and NVIDIA and Google kind of going off. And then Microsoft, not Tesla though. I don't know what's up with Hershey's, but Microsoft, Google, and NVIDIA. So a lot of Mag 7. That's, again, the equal weight is half of the SPY. So yeah, you do have big tech driving now, and now you have airlines going up. AL a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, 6-minute miles. I can't even remember the time I tried. I haven't ran like a mile, but I be going hard. I be sprinting when I play basketball now. So that's a UNH, a little flush. Amazon and Oklo on the high, even SMR, they had a little bit of a sell yesterday. Yeah, the nuclear play is starting to break out. Roth 401k, as soon as, I think any investing, I mean, a Roth in retirement, you have to understand that you can't access those till your retirement. But like I told you when you were asking this a couple days ago, just start right away, bro. Save 10%, open a new account. You're not going to put options in it, and just start depositing your 10%. And then you could start with good value names that you know about. We have an OG video that explains it, but again, little by little, because like I'm even saying as we're going to redo our portfolio, your first couple decisions don't matter. What matters is that you start, that you stay consistent, and you keep doing it. And that is what's going to lead you to the compounding benefit of the gains. I don't know what Baba, that's why I said I think China's the wild card. I don't really know how it'll play. The name of the OG video is how to start the long term, or how we're turning $500 into $1 million, I think. Proc again. Qubits too, didn't, or was it IonQ? Some one of those. They delivered something. Is it okay to DCA and a SPY in VU? If you wanted to, I think that's your last alternative. That's if you are, I think, don't have the time, you don't want to manage it, you don't have the emotional discipline, and you're willing to go with a slower plan. So as long as, but then again, it does offer safety. So I'm not against it. I try to make a SPY ETF at the very bottom this year. I do have evidence of that, but other than that, it's as long as you're saving and owning and aiming for property, and then rinse and repeating that is our main objective. Taking a loan to fix on the 401k to fix a home, a good idea. We've talked about it many times. That's just, I would exhaust all other opportunities first before trying to use your long term. So even if you want to remodel, I would try to find ways to do it. I know that ETF would have been fire. It was literally the bottom. But it wasn't meant to be. How do you know when to move to a winner? You buy a house. I'm telling you, you got to move up. That's what's so funny, bro. Our account's going to be at highs, and no matter what happens, it's like I want to keep holding it. I'd want to keep growing it. And I do want to pay myself, but at the end of the day, you can't leave unless you buy something bigger. You have to turn it into something of greater or equal value, but preferably greater value. Buying land and paying a camper? No, brother, please don't. You know that for the young guys, I hope y'all hear me. I've been speaking a lot of hope, and I don't want you to have limits. So, I aim big. Aim big. I think you're going to have a house with 5 units on it. You're not called to just have a piece of land and live in a tent. So for most of you guys, all of you, your first property, I would stay far away from land. Make sure if you're going to use your long term that you work so hard to save, you better be getting a structure on that. And then on the second one, we could talk about that idea. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of work, and it comes with I'm nervous about this farm, bro. It's a lot of fucking work. So I could only imagine trying to build a property and do something for my first ever purchase, and then that's all my money that I saved. It's very difficult. So I would just avoid that. Boeing's still going, and NVIDIA. Now you even got Coinbase and MSTR. Then there's Microsoft. And voila, habibi, there you go. Made Boeing free? I don't know. Why are you asking me? So if you knew enough to get the play and you know the strategy of making it free, and it's just, if that play is up 100%, why would you ask me? Google and IonQ again let you be your general contractor. I mean, are you gonna do it for cheap? Are you gonna do it because you want to? Otherwise, if I'm gonna pay normal price, I'm just gonna hire somebody that isn't gonna think that they're my friend and cannot do the job. You get what I'm saying? So that's the dilemma. So I'm looking for some good things, and if people want to be a part for the right reason, but if you are just looking for the paycheck, I'm gonna give that paycheck to then the most qualified. So send an email, tradingfraternity@gmail.com. Yeah, it's going crazy. Boeing got an upgrade, and then I think all of the bill stuff, and then it slipped by everybody. No one's really talking about it, but remember they were talking about exemptions with EU. So in a weird way, I think Boeing's tied to the EU shit, low key. All right, and then you're going up. Oh, I forgot. July 18th is like next week. Huh? Interesting. That's the whole bill in the company. That's just the deficit. Not the bill's actually much bigger. Yeah, man, Google as well still. Oust, if you guys remember Ouster, that was the one with Tesla. Yeah, that one's starting to run up there on big volume, and now you even got gold going up. So see if the market does slow down, but because again, gold and like the risk off attitude has been changing recently. Caves and all that. If I get the material, well, I'd love that. Email me, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's just the part that's crazy is that they called me yesterday. I had a call yesterday, and they're just like, so I don't know, man. Let me put it this way, you guys. The deal is not done, but they're all telling me it's done. So I just don't trust motherfuckers. But does that make sense? So that's why yesterday's call at like what 5 or 6 p.m. yesterday after the watch list, they were telling me about we got to start getting ready. Like there's a lot of work. So I'm like, all right, man. But I do want to make a video to show you guys the property. And then that's going to be the official like, yo, calling. I don't know, man. If people, we've always talked about this idea. And everybody could bring and contribute however they can. And even when we do events, y'all could showcase what you'd like. But yeah, now we got to do it. So yeah, but that's why I wanted to wait till the video, but certain things, and some of you guys do certain things, and an architect, they told me we could start on that right away. So yeah, but this is all the pregame. But the official calling is coming soon. Billy! Oh man, and Meta ripping. And then SPY actually getting a couple of reds here, believe it or not. Meanwhile, everyone's talking about NVIDIA being the biggest. I know, bro. We spoke it, but it's good though. I'm glad how it played out, man. I really am. Because now this is a long term. This is a compound built from the long term. That's amazing. You know, that's amazing. Gold. Again, that's why I said gold is gonna get weird. There was a little bit of again, the central banks we talked about and all of that, and now even the dollar. Oh, you're turning 37. Happy birthday, baby. Are you kidding? 20%? Oh, no. That's what I'm talking about. You know, that brings up the point. 10% is the minimum. So to many more, baby. Many more birthdays. All right, what did Biden say? I think 80 is the new 20, so you're like 7 or something. Bro, you're good. You still got time. Run it. Run it. Ouster again, and then Meta, and then Amazon. Remember, people were all talking about the bad Amazon stuff and the bad sales, but that came up. Oh, VICR, no, VRNA, Verna. They're the one that got bought out. WPM. And then Win was up earlier. Gold still is running. And then Microsoft 505. About autos, yeah, I'm not too big of a fan. I mean, I like them, but I just, even I buy a lot of cars, but like I don't buy a car all the time. And like I think they're good, but a lot of, I mean, Tesla is what, the only one that's arguably like really profitable, but I don't know. I haven't, if worst comes to worst and there's no opportunities, I would always consider them, but I don't, in a time like now, there's just other names I would put well ahead of them. What, for your 1-year-old daughter? Long-term or a money market? What? A long-term, bro. So money market is just holding cash. That's it. A money market just grows until Powell cuts rates. So no, money market is just cash. So I'd make a long-term deposit. If you're really worried, if you're worried that you're not going to get good quality, buy her the SPY. But at the end of the day, it's money market is just cash. So, and then there will be a time where money market isn't going to be worth it. You know, so once the rates in a couple years, if the rates do come down, money market, most of the, like when I met you, Alex, money market was at 0. Money market didn't pay money. You know, rates were 0. So if rates are low, you're not going to get any money market. And that's why it's like, it's kind of a temporary situation. But long term, you save whatever amount, even if she's 1 year old, $10, $20, $50, $100, put it in the long term, and you got the model how we have it. And you could either follow along with that, or if you're really nervous about it, go get the SPY and call it a day. The snacks? I'm not, is that the one to buy the fractional shares? Oh, him's on the low. They were up on the Canada shit. They just gave all that up. You stack cash for emergency? I mean, I have cash. I keep a certain amount. This is something I've told you guys for a couple years. As the rates started getting higher, I even bought some bonds. I told you when I did that. I even told you guys about my plan to de-lever, you know, so it does require having some cash. Help your bro with special needs start a long term? No way. Dude, amazing. Good for you, bro. I can't wait to see. You better show me what happens. Long term. Amen. A couple things moving finally. So low ticker, 30-second velocity picking up. Couple of chip plays and now big tech. So you're right at VWAP. You started off the morning, man. First 30 minutes is straight up. Why are we up? No idea. I think the reverse of the last couple days. Big tech leading. There was some talks with Euro and the other currencies. I mean, Europe is still dominating. And then we have data coming from, and people feeling good about pretty much today should have been your reciprocal trade deadline. And now with all of these letters and dates, pretty much got punted to another month. So that could be a bullish tailwind. Then there's the auction and then the Fed minutes. And then some people are thinking you will get, maybe you could get some signals on the minutes. QS popping. Well, seasonality, that's just the cherry on top. Yeah, because again, July is just bullish. So, but then again, we are already up a decent amount, I believe. Let me see where we're at for July. I can see where we're at as of now. UNH is, there's news them getting investigated, the DOJ. We already heard about it, but there was like progress. Apparently the DOJ is like contacting employees and hospitals and shit. Wholesale inventories, that's 120. All right, coming back up. SMTC, like I said, there's the big tech and chips, they took a little red and bounced back up. A couple of smaller cap names are going lower, and then big tech still dominating. It's a big tech day. So it's only been 30 minutes, but that should hold. So yeah, right now we're already up 1% in July. So again, its average gain is 3.5% in July. That's the 10-year average. So you've done 30% of the move. But then again, we've talked about the front run and some people saying or asking if that's there. Again, QS still running. Yeah, Microsoft's a beast. I think it's just trying to catch up with NVIDIA. But then, like I'm telling you right now, Mag 7 is your leader. Communications are dying. Yo, VZ, even like Disney. Communication stocks are all coming down. Trump, our Fed rate is 3 points too high. Hold on, Trump is posting Truth Socials right now. So let's see. 50 seconds ago, our Fed rate is 3 points too high, costing $360 billion a point in refinancing. That's it. He's just going off on Powell. But communication stocks started dumping. A couple of other names are running. Now China, still on the low. That's not new. But then little small cap chips like WDC, not even small cap, but like not NVIDIA, they're running up. Harris and Zillow. New all-time high on NASDAQ. I know, dude, Procter & Gamble, maybe that will be a gift. You know, I did notice that thing has been kind of dumping, but you'll get a little bit more, Habibi, a little bit more. Well, if they all go down and then you start seeing communications and it like spreads to like telecom communication, it just starts to get weird or there's a headline. But for now, big tech is the leader. You got a couple of momentum plays in like quantum and crypto doing good. There was a lot of Bitcoin shit in the morning. But yeah, we're still one way. The market did chill a little bit, but look, Amazon, Google, I think even Meta, these are all advancing, even though the SPY kind of staying pinned. And then you do got like Boeing's helping out the Dow. I think UNH is bringing it down. And actually, let me get you guys a checkup. Why won't it load? Okay, Dow Jones, 19 in the green, 11 in the red. That's really good, actually. And the Dow's the lagger. NASDAQ, 71 in the green, 29 in the red. And then S&P 500, 280 green, 220 red. So the SPY's a little bit more in the middle. And then Dow and NASDAQ are leading one way. And then, yeah, we'll see BMNR suspended, halted. SU, whatever that is, SUGP unhalted. And then you have the Trump on Powell right now. And Amazon. I keep seeing Amazon and then Google, then Microsoft, then Nvidia. They're just taking turns. And that's most of the day. But then you do have, again, 70% of the NASDAQ is in the green. China is not good. They were a little weak and they meandered yesterday. And then even now it's starting off there. I haven't seen any Prime Day deals, no. It sucks. I think we're going to need a lot for the farm, but I didn't even go shop on there. I haven't Prime Dayed in a long time, bro. Maybe they got good deals on resistance bands? That's where I get my resistance bands. Google. U.S. imposes additional Iran-related sanctions. Iran. Airbnb to the high. Wow. Then TLT, watch if bonds, BX now, and the low ticker start. It's like you get the momentum from the names that dropped, and now you're taking turns now. And now the other names that are smaller, not Mag 7, they're starting to run up right now. ARM on the high, and then tap. ARM actually made a decent move. Then even got PayPal. If Apple could move, remember you had the bad Navarro news. I actually think we're gonna get bad news on Apple. And Navarro was kind of hinting at it this morning by saying he said Apple thinks they're too big to get tariffed. Then Ouster, that one's going up, and then Okta. You had cybersecurity wake up a little bit. That was on fire at the end of the day yesterday. And Tesla travel's going up now. So again, Airbnb starting to wake up, but then I think I've seen Hilton, Marriott, and all of them just gently. Nothing crazy, but Expedia and Airbnb a little bit more now. Now Robinhood popping, and then Gap. Couple of new names are hitting the high ticker. So again, it's already about 70% leaning to the green. The SPY is the one that is a 50-50 Habibi. And then Google, because it's going to take turns. Just then you're probably going to see Microsoft or Nvidia next. Yeah, Nvidia actually chilled for a little bit. Coles. Where's Staples, brothers? Staples, I think that's the half of the SPY not up. Yeah, bro, Staples are getting worked. I want to see someone else. Reddit's on the low. That one's interesting. Poet, car. Okay, low ticker is picking up though. You had that little burst. It's Mag 7. Because now there's way more names. The 5-minute velocity was up. Then it faded. But now look. Now 30 second, 1 minute. Low ticker just slowed down. So again, you even had data at the top of the hour. But the latest headline was the Trump comment. He's been just going in this morning on Powell. You've heard a lot about Powell replacement. Heard more about Powell replacement than reciprocal trade replacement. Crude, I mean, I think it's at a weird spot right now, but wherever it goes, I think is going to determine a lot. I mean, we are, ever since the bill and a lot of things, this is the era now where we are looking for results in the economy and the consumer. And I think wherever oil ends up is going to help dictate that. High oil is bad. That's it. I think high oil makes it more likely that we have an economic problem. Low oil, I think it makes it more likely that Trump's plan might work. So yeah, Google's been rolling out Gemini to Wear OS watches, including Pixel, Samsung, Oppo, and Xiaomi. X. It's still mad early, bro. This is how yesterday felt. Remember yesterday? It felt slow, and then it was like before we knew it, the end of the day was over. But it's only been 40 minutes. So that little cash open was pretty aggressive, or pretty nice, considering every other day this week was red. But yeah, it's still mad early, bro. So good morning. I hope you're having a good day. Robin Hood again. Yeah, again, more biotechs. Remember, even from the, we barely even heard about the copper biotech stuff, but Labu even gapped up 6% today. That was crazy. Oh, on the low, real estate. You guys you were saying other real estate stocks were on the high. So yeah, it's kind of mixed. That's one of the industries down. Again, bonds are barely green, and then staples are not doing good. STX starting to flush. They were, I think, green in the morning, but down 1% right now. What is that? First Trust Global Supply Chain ETF? Was that? Something just came across my screen about a global supply chain ETF issuance. Palantir on the high. I remember Palantir went crazy end of the day yesterday. Now Teva. Yo, this one's a little weird. So again, biotech, pharmas, but then now Teva, they are foreign. But that one's up 2.5 right now, going into the high, just had volume. I'm going to check something on that one. And then Google and Meta again. No, July 8th. Something related to Abivide, Teva, and Urigen, but no headline. And then again, Merck. Dude, we talked Merck yesterday. They had a, what was it, COG-T? No. COPD. They had a COPD drug they got approval for, and they were hyping it up. But yeah, they're up 2.5. Oh, good morning, Alfonso. How are you? I don't know if Gemini. I haven't used Gemini. I don't really use Gemini, but some people have been lately. I told you that about a month ago. There's been a pickup in Gemini for AI, but I personally have never used it. Sorry, Google. Okay, Meta, Google. Again, the video stopped going up. Now it's just been Meta, Google, Microsoft. So, see, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time maybe those come down and then the video goes, but yeah. And then I think you got another Trump Truth Social. It's always fun checking my Truth Social. No, he just retweeted it. He retruthed it. That's what it's called. So Trump just retruthed the BRICS thing, and it hit the wire. Merck and MO is like NVO pizza. Oh yeah, maybe. That's the pear tray. That's terrible. But I think it might be, yeah. Okay, Google. Maybe just wait till the video goes, because I'm sure by the time the video starts going again and the other ones change, then maybe we'll change this early setup. Otherwise, maybe get used to it. Get used to this randomness. If you remember yesterday, and then when all the speeches came out, you would react to it, but it could just stop on a dime, and then you could just stay pinned. So be mindful, and welcome to summer, baby. Merck bought Verna as well, and then they got a pretty big drug approval that I think they guided a couple $1 billion of profits from it. Okay, Google again. I don't know where Baba in China's at. That's another weird wild card, and they're down 3. ONON, Nike. I haven't looked at the retailers. Some are doing decent. Lulu's red. Who was the other one? Lamb Weston. Wasn't that yesterday? So keep an eye on that. Remember, you had a rumor. Or talks. There's no way your first message of the day is about Epstein. You ain't even say good morning. You ain't even say no shout out to vets. You ain't say what's up, Josh. You ain't even ask me about a farm or a pig. Just straight Epstein. But yeah, I said something on Twitter yesterday. You had to be there. You had to be there. Okay, bonds are catching a bid all of a sudden. Watch the yen. Okay, equal weight. Actually, equal weight might go negative. So this is going to be interesting. Chancellor Merz, Germany will make offers for Ukraine. Wait, which one was it? I want to look at the yen. Yeah, the yen's going. That could be it. Because now TLT's up. That's what we were talking about yesterday on the watch list. That's what I'd be worried about. And in a weird way, the funny part is that if the minutes actually have a change today, and I don't think they will, but let's say, hypothetically, if the minutes are volatile enough, that could fuck with the yen. I said this in the morning. So just be mindful of that. But it shouldn't. And that could not happen, but you know, I am going to be mindful of it, and we will see. Mexico president, let's wait and see on copper tariffs. Okay, you are going down a little bit more. Low ticker picking it up. You got the same ones moving. Seattle Mobile, and then CE on the low, and Saya on the low. Pepsi, well, good, but why do you post it, man? So again, I love the long term, you guys, and I want you to buy good things and do it at the right time, but I don't want this to be a room where people see somebody buy something and then follow it. Do you understand? I've been trying to communicate this very, very gently to some of you. But, yeah. But it's okay, but you're just gone. You guys gotta... I'm timing them out, but some of you are repeat offenders. Jeffrey's wrecked MO. Just staples in general are not doing good today. So today is more risk on. Again, I think the trades or the trade deal and the deadline stuff, no staples, a little bit more momentum. Seems like it's more risk on than not. Okay, Microsoft's starting to look like Nvidia now. So again, Google and Meta, I think, are still hitting the highs, and then you'll see now Microsoft slowed down, now Nvidia, and then I'm telling you, equal weight is about to go negative, believe it or not. VIX is at 16. It's really not that, that's really low. Because remember, ever since the little crazy Trump shit, we were all kind of expecting a higher volatility floor. But yeah, that's actually a new low on the VIX. Interesting. Mexico to talk border and trade in DC on Friday. So Mexico is coming to town on Friday. Pause the long term? Oh, brother. 10% first, and then do what you need to do. And I would like to argue that if you save 10% first, it will help you not get into that situation. But you must always pay yourself 10% first. Tiger Global. This one always gets option activity and like people pumping it and trying to do stuff, or like even insiders buying, so watch out. And then Bloom Energy, they had something in the morning. Yeah, Bank of America, again, I forgot, was it the Saudi or Kuwait fund selling $3 billion? Then Pang, they had news as well. I think they had earnings or guidance. Okay, MSTR flushing now. Pang was the earnings. I don't know where Coin and Hood are at. They were on the high. Hood's still going up, but like I'm saying, like Nvidia, Google and Meta are the ones still going. Nvidia and Microsoft, they're slowing down. And then German Chancellor Scholz says he's confident that they will reach an agreement on fighter jets. Big Tech's killing it, bro. Nasdaq's up 1. So this is like yesterday, a lot bigger. Yesterday was a lot smaller, but then yesterday you had lopsided. Russell was the clear winner. Today it's Nasdaq and Big Tech, but it's been less than an hour. We're 10 minutes shy of 1 hour, so mad early, bro. Mad early. Yeah, the Vietnam tariffs, I think they're like low tariffs, but then it's just, remember, it only the transatlantic shipping. So I think the Vietnam thing's tied to China, and then again the delay. That's what I was saying the other day. I think the market's gonna get a lot of this info, wait, and then wait it out, and then you'll get these reactions. So I think a lot of people are gonna be, wait, why this? It's because, again, the market doesn't have the full picture. You don't know the full, you don't even have the EU deal. One minute it's good, 1 minute it's not. But then, so I think we're going to get it, see what the rates are at, see when they come into play, and then we'll get a full picture. But, you know, we anticipated a lot of bad things leading into it. So there's a wide scope, and it's going to be hard to surprise. So Trump wants 300-point drop. If someone did that, are we looking at high inflation or something bigger than that? I'm not following. What are you asking? What is the biggest risk to the market taking another potential correction? People? Idiots? How did we get the first one? So vigilantes, actually, that's the real answer. Bond vigilantes is your biggest risk. These motherfuckers who are being foolish related to what's going on, and they have enough money to push it. Because that's what you saw. Let's be real. Again, you saw me try to buy the bottom with an ETF account. This beginning of this year was manufactured fear that was bigger than COVID, the great financial crisis, bigger than the 70s, and every event known to man. Why? Because you were scared of a tariff. That, again, I was telling you exactly what would happen based on historical economic theory. So it's not like I was just pulling this shit out of my ass. And a lot of people knew it. And again, I was showing you within weeks very realistic estimates. And then what did people start doing? They freaked out. And then the bonds, then the sentiment, and then again, that's why you asked me the biggest risk. Dude, we let 220 people decide many billions and trillions of dollars of valuation for all of our assets. You don't think that's batshit insane? I think that's tantamount to like, holy shit, society is going to collapse. This is Rome. What the fuck? That's what happened. For months in a row, we let 220 people. If you don't know what I'm talking about consumer sentiment. We had more opportunities, more rundown and change of conditions financially on consumer sentiment than anything. So, yeah, the biggest risk is fear and chaos. Because at this point, I say this because even under Biden, dog, we saw some pretty crazy shit and nothing happened because there's so much money floating around, and now that money's still there. It's just fear and chaos, I think, is the thing that's unleashed the great deals for us. And then that's what reins it in. So if that does happen again, then yeah, we'll do it. Your birthday means all the options must print. Oh yes, that's the superstition, baby. Oh yeah, happy birthday. 4 straight one, bro, to many more. I hope it's 10 in a row, baby. At minimum, 10 years. Long term, happy birthday, bro. Oh, no. We got a lot of birthdays here on the 9th, bro. Y'all should have told me it was reciprocal birthday date. I would have looked out for it, man. Happy birthday. Hey, that's multiple birthdays. July's been popping. What is the risk for cutting this fast and aggressively? Only high inflation? Yeah, that would be it. And then I think what you're trying to say is that it would probably give off the appearance that something majorly bad was happening as well too. But then again, it just sucks because homeboy might need to correct. And that's it. It's just all weird. Powell, unfortunately. Because I like Powell. I really do. It's just getting weird. He lied in front of Congress, and I don't like that. But then, everybody, this is everyone's fault. This is society's fault. We all downplayed homeboy cutting in front of an election. And now we're all like, wait, why is this happening? Wait, what if this? And everyone was like, wait, shouldn't you look at this? And I agree with a lot of you. But I'm like, dude, no. Like, go back to the source. This all started because motherfucker wanted to cut ahead of an election that he didn't have to. And then now refusing based off the same set of standards. And now he's just spiraling into lying in front of Congress. And now Trump is hammering home aggressive spending bills that makes Powell look even more ridiculous for keeping rates this high. All of it. It's trash, dude. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, it all started from September. It all started from September, Doc. Believe me, as a guy who watches every Fed meeting, every bond part of the curve, and all of it, that's where it started from. All the Powell drama, all of what's gonna happen, everything. It's all from that point. You're not debating and having these weird conversations without September. And that, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying, because you're right. If you go and cut 200 basis points, it's going to look weird. But you know what else looks weird? Cutting ahead of an election. You know what else looks weird? Cutting ahead of an election and giving a set of standards, and then those standards are met, and then you don't cut again. So it's like it's already Powell's already in a hole. That's where I'm like, what are we talking about? So yeah, I see what you're saying, but the risk is truly hyperinflation. But again, what have I been telling you guys? And then SPY's dumping. Mexico, Scheinbach, copper benefits U.S. I don't see. Hold on, I'm gonna go to True Social because that's a delayed reaction. Then be careful. Scheinbach's been talking and been saying shit. Yeah, there's no True Social, but I think, remember yesterday how there was that market delayed reaction on some of those headlines with the EU? I think that's what's happening right now. Because Scheinbach made those comments a minute or two ago, and then she kept saying other stuff about it, but now everyone's reacting, and then Tesla's getting clapped. But yeah, but Powell, you know where it starts, and just unfortunately, that's what has made all of this awkward. But like I said though, this is what I was trying to tell y'all. Even when I got on that Twitter space, bro, everybody talking about Epstein. I'm like, dude, we should be talking about the money. We should be again, Elon and Epstein, talk about how he's about to make so much money off the Department of Defense. I feel like I'm talking to a wall, because I'm like, aren't you guys interested in this? This is the real story. This is the real thing that matters. Again, like I've been saying, it's government spending. I don't care about inflation being caused by tariffs. Neither should you. That's a fake narrative. Government spending causes inflation. That's why I said right when they passed the bill, unfortunately, that's another segment now. Whoa, 7 million barrels of crude. Estimate was 1.6 draw. The fuck? That's a lot. No, you thought you were gonna get the wire, huh? Oh, you thought I'm not even gonna let you get a peek of it no more, huh? I thought you were gonna, huh? Oh yeah. I know, but that's all of it. That's what I'm saying. You guys lost faith in Trump over Epstein? What? I lost faith when I saw all the money. See, it's money. Isn't that why we're here? Dude, I said this yesterday on the space. It's very cliche, but follow the money is truly the answer, bro. It really, really is. That's why I'm like, that's why I'm saying. You think I voted for Trump because of Epstein? That was a bonus. That would have been, yeah, I think it's weird. I think people got let down, and I think there was weird messaging and all of that, but the money, that's where it's like there's other things at play. Again, Elon, money, the inflation, nothing to do with, I don't care what he does with tariffs. I care what he does with the bill. You see what I'm saying? That right there now we have, and then you guys are like, wait, if he cuts rates, what's going to happen? Well, guess what? Now that we're spending a fuck ton of money, now we could talk about inflation, crazy inflation. Other than that, though, that's all that matters. It's the money. It's the spending. And then mix it in with Powell and the Feds. And then mix it in with Powell being a weirdo ever since September. Ta-da! It's a really awkward one. I don't know. I said this even earlier. I said every time when Biden does it, they all bring up everything else. They don't want to talk about government spending causing inflation. And then when Trump does it, they bring up tariffs and everything else except for government spending. But that's the answer. And that's why I'm like, no. Market's dipping on Scheinbach, but I think this is Wall Street. I think they're taking a headline and overreacting to get some movement, because that headline's old. And it was literally all talked about here, and then that's it. Marco Rubio, Trump defense deal with NATO is big, beautiful win for America. And then oil numbers, just big oversupply. It is. I mean, I personally just think, I think the Epstein thing gives people a reason to be mad about the wrong thing. And I am disappointed. I'm not happy about it. But like I'm saying, that wasn't mine. That's old to me. I see, and I even think Donald Trump was acting yesterday. You know that? I thought about it. You know that clip that we played and we were watching it and he said, "Stop, why do you keep bringing it up?" That was an act. That was not real. I genuinely believe that was not real. It was a real event. I'm not saying like he's an alien. I mean that was a manufactured. He knew that if he overreacts like that, you're going to double down on it. And you're going to double down and dig deeper into a dead end. That's what I'm telling you. It's a dead end, bro. It's the end that goes on and on for all of our daily lives and everybody's life. It's going to be the result of this money being spent. And that is not a dead end. That's why I'm like, whoa. So unfortunately, yeah, that's where I think it is. And like I said, I'm disappointed in many aspects, but at the end of the day, I think the money now and the government spending and what ends up happening, we need to monitor that. And this is where you guys need to protect yourselves and be wise about it, because that is what's going to have the biggest effect on you. In all of us, and immigrants and people who need it, both rich, poor, that's where it's at. It is the money. SPY is dropping. That's what I'm saying. I think there was a Scheinbach comment about tariffs, and then she was talking here about coming on Friday to meet and discuss it, and then it just started dumping. And then IP again. You guys remember yesterday? What was it? SW, IP, and then PKG. Those are all moving again. And then bonds hitting a high and gold coming up. So you even have the fear indicators working, but then the yen was also leading the bonds too. It represents rich elites getting away with crimes. I know, but this is the part in my mind. By watching that bill get passed how it did, that's what I see. Every time from Biden to now this, every time these guys pass a bill, I see that as rich elites getting away with crimes. These guys everybody got paid with your money. With what you're going to pay for in home affordability, what you're going to pay for with taxes, what you're going to pay for with working and not being able to deal with stuff. So again, I feel bad because I can't make that judgment just yet, but that's on the table now. And it wasn't before, but now it is. That's on the menu. That could be possible if there is no revenue generation. And if we don't watch this work out, then yeah, I'm not, that's unfortunate. And I see that as more of a grave robbery, and people, dude, they're doing it right in front of you. And then you're not even people won't even talk about it.
Well, I
Besant.
something. I'm very happy in my job here. I think we have lots of good candidates for Fed chair.
This is old.
We will start
from July 3rd, not
working
live.
on that in the fall. We've been busy. The president's been doing peace deals, trade deals, tax deals, and we are landing the plane on all of those. So we're going to have more bandwidth after Labor Day.
That was not a no. I just want to point out on the double job. Very interesting.
If he asked you one day in the future, not immediately, would you rather that job to the one you've got currently?
No, I'm not going to talk about that. No comment on that.
14% on Polymarket, Kevin. That's where you are. That's where you are right now.
18, isn't it?
Do you want to be Fed chair?
Again, I'm not going to comment on that.
As Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and NEC Director Kevin Hassett, when asked about
I'm
reports
gonna go to the
saying they
bathroom.
were
Follow me
in the
on
running to be
Instagram
the
at the
next
Trading
Fed chair.
Fraternity.
Wall
Real
Street
Code
Journal
News
reports
on
that
Twitter.
Hassett and Fed Governor Kevin Warsh are at the top of the president's lists of contenders to succeed Jerome Powell. Joining us this morning is Jefferies Chief Market Strategist David Zervos. David, great to have you. This parlor game is kicking into a new gear. How much of this interests you, the possibilities, at least of the current range of expected candidates?
I mean, it's palace intrigue at its finest, Carl. But at the end of the day, I think these are all incredible candidates. Both Kevin's, if Scott were to take the job, if others that have been discussed were to take the job, we have a potpourri of excellent candidates to do this, and probably a few dark horses on the side as well. So I just don't think it's as market moving, because I don't think you're getting extremes. You're getting kind of a group of people who all tend to have the same set of thoughts when it comes to the Federal Reserve and monetary policy.
Now we have a fresh post from the president today saying that rates are 3 points too high. Are you getting the feeling that we're increasingly getting more restrictive?
I mean, that's been my view for a while. We've argued that the balance sheet was very large in 2022 and 2023, and that was offsetting the effects of the rate rises, and actually policy was quite accommodative, even as we were moving to 4 or 5% rates. Now the balance sheet is back to a size which is about where it was as a percentage of the size of the economy pre-COVID. So our arguments on the balance sheet being accommodative have kind of dwindled off, and now the rate side looks restrictive. So I would say we're actually sitting in one of the more restrictive places in monetary policy that we've been in, even in the last 2 or 3 years.
I mean, David, a big point of contention has been, why isn't the Fed been cutting now when it was cutting in September? Well, the Fed funds rate was 100 basis points higher. The 2-year note yield was lower. PCE inflation was down 0.5 percentage point in the prior months. Unemployment was up 0.5 percentage point. Powell's made this point. And by the way, Kevin Hassett in October of last year said, yeah, the Fed did the right thing by cutting 0.5% in September. Is that going to be a problem if that stance goes against this president's feeling about that?
I don't think so. I think the September cut, which, Mike, you'll remember, we were all priced for 25, and then right at the end, Jay kind of came out with 3 leaks across the press that drove us to 50, just has a little bit of a stench to it. And I think there's a lot of folks who are going to argue that had some validity. A cut was probably the right thing to do at 25, but 50 seemed a little too close for comfort with the election and how it was perceived by many in the market. So it didn't need to happen. As you know, Michelle Bowman dissented against that, but another candidate who is in the mix, Chris Waller, went along with it. And I wasn't aware of Kevin Hassett's statement, but I don't think any of this is going to get in the way. The candidate needs to have a cogent reason, and I think can easily have a cogent reason as to why rates should be coming down materially. And I think you can actually look to the balance sheet very much as a way to push the lower rate narrative. And we've even seen Kevin Warsh do that earlier this week in an interview on Monday, I believe, making that claim. And I thought that was some new fodder for the race.
Yeah, Warsh's other point was that tariffs are not inflationary, which now people are taking a look at used cars and trying to see if we're getting more additional input into pricing. I'm assuming you do not think that's the case.
I mean, I think the Secretary of the Treasury makes a very strong point that these are one-off price increases. They're not inflation. And Powell is right to say as well that you want to make sure that they don't metastasize into something. But left on their own, I think the tariffs are really more about price level increases and one-offs, and monetary policy right now looks calibrated to be quite, I think, consistent with very anchored inflation expectations. 2-year break-evens are really unchanged since the beginning of the year, and really the beginning of the period where we learned about the election in November. So, the long-term break-evens have stayed steady.
You thought
the
you were going to slip that one in?
Steady. The survey data has been complicated.
Bro, I was in the bathroom.
By, the politicization that's been
and
in
I
the
come
survey
back,
data.
and there's the peach, baby. Oh, and go look at Boeing. Oh, or not. Oh, Bradley guys all. Yeah, you thought you were going to slip that one in, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby. Hey, man. Oh, I got to go find out how to plant a peach tree. I've never done it before. We got to learn that. Maybe I'll save it for you. You might have to put it in there. I'll get the seed. I'll leave that for you. You tried to do stealth peach, bro. What was that, a P-2 bomber? A P-52? A Peach 52? Try to go in stealth? Uh-huh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning. And yeah, Linda Yaccarino says she is stepping down as CEO of X. Was she on the list too? Oh, what are we going to find out next? No? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, Elon. If you need a CEO, I don't know. I was running for Intel. I don't know if that counts. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll leave that to him. And it said you were pooping? Well, I didn't. Because I was like, I could withhold that info, but then I was like, fuck. It's echoey as hell. Because I was in the bathroom. So, yeah, honesty is the best policy. Call them? I've never called Twitter. How do you call Twitter? MTSR. That's different. Let's see. Management and board. Donald might speak, but it's not like yesterday where they have one of those scheduled cabinet meetings. Because yesterday, that was a pretty big cabinet meeting. It was kind of boring. They didn't really talk about much, but that was like an unexpected scheduled thing that we had at the morning. So, but we don't have one of those today. Oh, legal! Bless the Chad, baby! Horn, what up? Yalla! Ooh, Unity. Unity, remember all day yesterday, they would be up. Oh, man, God bless you. Hey, man. Oh, bro. Yeah, welcome back, bro. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, paying again, that one was earnings. BM&R wreckage. That's the Tom Lee one, right? But they do that, but then some of them stay up, some of them don't. Like, you guys remember SBET? Remember SBET went crazy, and then right when somebody tried to pull or they tried to do the MSTR and dump shares, and then it just didn't work. So we'll see, but either way, just be careful. Like I told, remember somebody asked me it yesterday, and I told you guys, I was just like, listen, sometimes you can make money on this, but I view all of these as a scam. And I say that as an abundance of caution just because, I mean, just understand the nature of what you are investing in. You know, this is people monetizing Bitcoin as a service. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying, you know, we're going to you're going to sell your equity to buy this and hold, and that's the whole point. Ow. I just cut myself on my chair. I know, man. I love that one. Welcome back, bro. Mace. Breathe, stretch, shake. Let it go. Breathe, stretch, shake. Let it go. He said, what he say? I used to be the guy stood next to Diddy, crucified for bringing sex in the city. Even though the girls think I'm extra pretty hot. No, I ain't got no extras with me. Like, whoa, with the wrist, like, whoa. Yeah, bro. Classic, classic. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. That Tesla? That looked like a daily chart. Yeah, it's tweaking, new low. So here's the deal, bro. We're going down, and some of you are asking why. Like I'm saying, this was the Shine Bomb Mexico comments. So if Apple starts going down now, like I told you, that might be the, again, that comment from Navarro in the morning. I think that was hinting at something. But I think this was just a little delayed reaction. Ironically, you're still green, equal weight. I think that's the one that's red. And then watch if we start going negative on SPY. Watch if the staples get a bid. But yeah, equal weight has gone negative now. Russell, Dow, they're about to go negative. NASDAQ still holding. You got the Mag 7. And then that's it. Yeah, Mace became a preacher. That's why he was with Diddy. And then Diddy was weird with him. And then I think after pretty much, if you were like friends with Diddy, like good friends with him, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to repent. And then he repented and became a preacher. But I don't really listen to his sermons, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever heard a Mason Betha sermon. But I love the dude. I love Mace. That was my thing when I was a kid. CO that could be related to Tesla. Just more drama. Vistra too. Treasury said it extends deadline until September 4 for actions against Mexico financial institutions. I didn't know Project Pat is a pastor. It's dope. But yeah, I've never heard any of their sermons. I've heard of people becoming pastors, but I've never maybe I got to. Maybe I'll give them a listen. The X News just came out about 7:42. So about 8 minutes ago. That was the first drop. And now Apple's selling off, you guys. I don't like that. Because again, today's a big Mag 7 day. You have NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft holding you up. NASDAQ's still up around 0.5%. But like I said, Navarro kind of teased there. TikTok new US app preparing to operate separately from the rest of the world, sources say. Separate algorithm and code base. Let's see what Oracle does, but yeah, you're getting a Reuters rumor on TikTok. That's weird. It's not worth it. So if you get a only US app with a different algo, aren't you just like sending the, you know what I'm saying? I think you're just sending the, wait, you're just sending like it's just branding. You're just selling the brand, but it's not even the same thing. Oh, you sold me around. Good, bro. Yeah, man, and thank you, Legal, too, bro. Thank you for the Colt compound build-out. Hey, man, I hope I see some of y'all. You know, that's it, man. So it'll be a great time. And yeah, I am looking for people to. You could wait for the video, but there's some stuff. We need an architect if anybody wants to do that, like a legit architect. Otherwise, I'm gonna go outside of the Colt to hire somebody. But, And then SPY still near the low. Again, a couple of biotechs on there, and then Apple is bringing you down right now. Again, even had some TikTok news, no move on Oracle. Again, look at Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA. They're still holding very, very well. NASDAQ still up 0.5%. of a community farming man. Oh, wow. That's it. I will tell you, though, because we got to do a lot of work. Because LT was already telling me I'm crazy. I told him I want a pig on day one, and he was like, bro, you can't get a pig. I'm like, what do you mean I can't get a pig? I could do anything I want. And he was like, how are you going to take care of it? I was like, exactly. Don't worry about it. And he was, yeah, they're trying to tell. I'm like, they're like, you got to do this and this. I'm like, I'm getting a pig. I'm getting a pig. Mm-hmm. USA TikTok only. It'll be weird. It'll be weird. When one stock carries it. Well, today you got the other four are doing good, but then Apple's just weird again. And even the Navarro comment, I thought that was weird, but we kind of ignored it the first hour. Rumble CEO teasing new features. RNA and then IT. Oh, I thought that was IP. But IT flushing, whatever that is. Again, you did have activity on those paper stocks earlier. Gold, one more time. Like I said, from the morning, people were talking risk off. But nope. A risk on. But yeah, it's holding though, but it's not going crazy yet. And then the Japanese yields. Unfortunately, this is summer, bro. This is what sucks, because Apple is adding to this. The other names are slowly slipping, but it'll be SPY and Dow and Russell to go red first, and then you already have equal weight down. But yeah, that was weird, because I'm telling you, this was just off a shine bar, and you had a 5-minute jump on it, but Wall Street just took it down, and then the big tech followed. NEM, that's more gold companies. Did Oracle go up? I had it up and it didn't react. I was like, no way. Yeah. All right, that was another 3-minute delay. So I don't know if this is going to be a summer thing or what, but we noticed this yesterday, even with the Tesla shit. Dude, there's a lot of things that are like, you're getting a headline and then nothing will react, and then 5 minutes later, 3 minutes later, it'll react. So I hope you're ready for that. So just keep that in mind, because I think that's what happened here. We even got the Oracle shit. 5 minutes, it didn't react, and then all of a sudden, it's doing its thing. So, and then yesterday, we saw that too with the EU comments. So head on a swivel, but it's going to be very random how it reacts. Again, you'll get the headline, but it literally may react a couple minutes there. One of them will react immediately, but I could notice this, and I'm showing you. I think you can notice it too. Ain't it wild? I listen, building the long term. I mow the pastures, working as a farmer. Listening to you want to be a farmer. I do. Full circle, huh? Ain't that crazy, bro? Shout out all the farmers. Oh, man. Amen. Amen. Apple again. I think you're going to get that Navarro comment again, or you're going to get what Navarro was talking about. But then again, it's already down 1%, so yeah. Roblo's still going up. Nothing on Trump comments, no. I think technically we should be hearing about the delays, the reciprocals, but then since there's that new date now, it kind of gave us a little bit of what we had here now. But people are tripping on the Mexico thing. This is Mexico and copper, but it was a delayed reaction, and then now add Apple here. So if Apple was already down, it would have looked different. But yeah, it's a mix of Mexico and Apple. But remember, until this like goes, just all you did, you're back into yesterday. Isn't that crazy? So you gapped up, unwound all of yesterday, and then now, or the day before that, and then now you're right back into the top end of yesterday. So just a little bit until we get it. I'm sure once we get the confirmation, but I think summer for now, and like we talked about, people are just taking headlines and kind of reacting to them, but I don't think you've had a real material development. Was he going to give the farmer news? I don't know if that's on the schedule. He kind of came out yesterday, but they said anywhere they're going to start rolling out random dates, and then he even said something up to like a year. Let's see. They're having a digital assets thing, a hearing. And then Netanyahu and Hegseth? What the fuck is this? Ha 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 ha.
Not with that picture, not without Eric Carilla down there at the end of the table. Not with that.
Thank you.
I don't know, is this from yesterday?
Absolutely. Thanks. Gratitude and admiration.
Netflix, they should do the split, but yeah. I mean, it was like, what, 5-7 years ago that they did? Huge candle from Google. Well, you need Google, Microsoft, and NVIDIA to unwind the Apple. But no, Google's dumping. Yeah, huge red candle. It just wicked 177 to 175 and then came back up to the high 176s. Okay, and then there's a SPY a little bit. Remember, bonds already led the way. High ticker's kind of picking up, but I think this is just going to be your first little relief bounce here. But then there is some movement. What do I think about Labubu? Little demon dolls. You go Labubu your ass to your heart's content, brother. Okay? I'm gonna be reading my Bible. Lindo Yakarina stepping down, heads to roll after last night's disaster with Grok. And since you can't fire the owner, yeah. Oh yeah, did you guys see that? So it's funny, but it's not new. You guys know that? And do you guys know what happened on Twitter yesterday? It was like 48 hours ago, 24 hours ago. Did you guys see what Grok ended up doing? Oh, it's crazy, bro. Grok, somebody on the Grok team, they took out a piece of code that said to be politically correct. And then all of a sudden, legitimately, it started responding to people, and the Grok AI was claiming to be Hitler. I'm not exaggerating. It called itself Mecha Hitler. And then it started like being extremely racist. Then it started promoting Nazi propaganda. And yeah, bro, it's kind of crazy. But then again, this isn't like I was telling you, I was like, bro, this isn't new. You guys don't remember when Microsoft had a little AI girl and they had like Cortana, and then remember Cortana turned racist after they allowed it to do something, and then it turned into pure racist. And then even remember when Gemini was like, yo, the Civil War was fought by black women primarily, and it said that was your leaders, and people are like, that's not historically accurate. So yeah, this is what happens. There's like this is what, I don't know, obviously it wasn't on purpose, but this is what has happened every time you get to AI. We have experienced like a ridiculous level of like, it either goes full racist or it goes fully just out of context. But yeah, it was a big issue. If you didn't, it's all documented. Go on Twitter. There was some pretty crazy replies from it, bro. It's not racism, it's pattern recognition. No, you're racist. So why remember, AI learns from like Reddit and shit, bro. It learns from like Twitter. It learns from all the other people. So it's not pattern. I mean, you can say there is a pattern, but at the end of the day, it learns from the internet. And if you don't know, the internet is a very racist, crude place. I don't know if you guys knew that. I mean, you could literally type in a website and watch people fuck. So, I mean, the internet is wild. And do you know how much shit is on the internet? And imagine sarcasm and satire that it doesn't understand. So what ends up happening is if you actually let it aggregate data, it's going to be a racist. I could guarantee that. Almost every model of AI that you just let run off of data, it turns into a racist. It's not pattern recognition. It's just there's a lot of racist data, and there's a lot of data out there that not even just beyond racist, like get into other topics, and it starts to go down a certain path. Yeah, it just reports what a collection of what people have said. Again, it knows how to do that, and then it causes all of this. It's really funny. I think it's funny, sadly, but because again, a lot of people were laughing. I'm sure, sadly, it could have caused some pain for some people. That would have sucked, bro. Like, imagine trying to talk to an AI, and then it just like starts going off on you. You're like, what? So yeah, that's kind of sad. But this is what happens every single time. Every single time. Lost the bat. No, you here, baby. And where was it? I saw one right before. Was it Simone? Where'd it go? He said he's finally a member. No, did I miss it? I think I did, bro. I was getting into the AI talk. Yeah, Simone, baby. God bless you, bro. Welcome. So shout out to members, both new and old, and thank y'all. Yeah, I hope you guys get long terms. We need more. Amen, bro. God bless, and just long term, no finish line. Ferrari driving like a Honda. Stop, amen. It's like the movie Cars, bro. You gotta realize who you are. Realize who you are, young Simba. The kingdom. Amen. Coin again. Robin Hood been holding, but actually no, that chilled out too. So remember, Google just started dumping, and now it's moving up. But then that last 30 minutes of almost giving up the gains, making equal weight go red. That was all the what's it called? Mexico, and then a little bit of the Apple dump. Lee Auto on the high, and then oil's running. I just can't wait to own realty. my take on a financial manager managing your money, I have to tell you that I agree. That's just the law. So contact your financial professional. I am not a financial advisor. None of this is a recommendation. So that being said, I think it's all bullshit. Otherwise, I wouldn't outperform them. So again, if you want to give, just like I hope you guys see it. I was even baffled. This is your guys' life. If you want to trust people with your money, you have to understand what they're doing with it. And you have to understand what the incentive is and what's going on, you know? Because like I was saying, I had somebody, like one of the charges, you almost got scammed on closing cost and stuff like that. And they're saying, should I still work with that person? I mean, that's up to you, but I think that's an obvious answer. So, you know, I would talk with someone, always talk with people, get info, but if you're going to pay someone to just put your money into the SPY, I mean, understand how that's going to affect your goals. And ironically, I'm talking to you like a financial advisor. I'm not. And none of this is a recommendation. But the funniest part is that if you really sat down and talked with a financial advisor about your goals and then realized that their fee would eliminate like 40% of your performance, then you might realize that they will not help you meet your goals. So yeah, they take out 2% compounded. So over our goal of, 10, 20, 30 years, that's like 40% of your net returns. It's ridiculous. So yeah, it's up to you though. And I think some people, if you have like a certain amount of money and you're really not managing it, it's there. But I mean, a lot of what I've shown here is that you could do it on your own. And you could do it and save a lot of money in the long end. But if you're not responsible, go to a financial advisor. I agree with that. Like, you see what I'm saying? If you have a bad history with gambling, if you can't hold money in a long term on your own for a couple of years, if you have a propensity to buy the next big thing that isn't the next big thing, and wasting your money and on investments that aren't quality, then yeah, give your money to a financial advisor. I think you're way better off than you squandering it. But if you're a well-mannered person and you actually care about this and you have goals and objectives and can sit through and walk yourself through them, and you understand what equity is, and you understand what what's it called? If you understand how ownership is going to play out, and even what an ETF is, and a Vanguard, and how you could even replicate what they do on your own, then I don't see why you would need it. I agree. If you have a tendency to not control your money, go to a financial advisor. So it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. Some of you shouldn't handle your money. I want to teach people and I want to encourage people to do it, but at the end of the day, like I'm saying, bro, if you keep gambling, you can't save on your own, and you keep buying Chinese autos instead of like high quality blue chips and shit like that. It's like, give your money to a financial advisor. If you can't even sit down, take your money and just go buy the SPY and not get into a bad decision, go give your money to a financial advisor. Well, yeah, that's why some people, if you have other time commitments and you don't want to be bothered, it makes sense. But again, you're paying for it. But that's why, like, look at our long term. It's done very well. And I'm talking like a once a month type of involvement. That's it. Yeah, if you just clicked a couple buttons once a month, put your deposit on autopilot, you're there. I mean, it's not. Again, we're outperforming most of the world right now off of doing that. It is. You could save a lot in fees, but go back to what I'm saying though. If you don't manage it properly and you're blowing that shit up and putting it into bad investments, don't manage your own account, don't manage anybody's account. Because that's the paradox of all of this. There's a reason this is an industry. You get it? There's a reason there's a market for this. Because there's more people, most people than not, cannot handle their money without losing it. Money's a weird beast. You get what I'm saying? So that's like, think about it. Even some of you naturally, you have the worry about it. So just think about it. Well, you could ask him about the fees, but I encourage you to understand how it plays out. That's what I said. This is what's so scary about it, because you guys are about to hand over your money and like you're not even understanding what they're about to do with it. You see what I'm saying? Or like this is what people do. They want your money. They get you to commit. And just like insurance, before you're so deep in the game, the next time you realize it, it's going to take you more to unwind it than to just stay on a good path. So understand, you could ask someone about the fees and they'll tell you, but I need you to understand the impact. And that's why I said, what are your goals and how does what they're doing feed or take away from that? You need to understand that. And that's the scary part, is that some people will nod along, but you have to, like, it's not just, okay, 10%, even 2%. Do you understand what 2% does over 40 years? So if I'm taking 2% of net assets and 5, 10, 0% of profits, again, there's different fee structures, right? How does that compound? And then what is your goal? Are you trying to buy a house, a business? Do you have children? These are the questions they're going to ask you. Again, and this is stuff I've never shied away from with you guys as well. So that's why I'm saying you're in the neighborhood already, but you do have to have this goal, and then ask yourself, if I'm saving X amount and then it compounds at this rate and I have this, what will I have? And then what will I have after the fees? And then now, how does that meet your goals? I spoke to him. I think you're missing something, brother. Because I keep telling you, I'm talking to you, and you keep telling me what you told him. And that's what's going to happen in this relationship. And then from now on, you're going to have this dumbass in your ear telling you everything. So just like I'm saying, you asking him for the fees, you told him your goals and he gave you a report. What's your report? I need you to have a report, brother. I need you to take what he said back to you and now give me the full pic. You need to look at that and say, and then now you need to justify why you're going to give him half your money. That's the conclusion. So just don't fall for a trap. Some of you are going to fall for the trap. And the trap, some people just want a financial advisor because they think they're leveling up with it. You're not. You're just giving someone your money. And if you don't know why you're giving them the money, the rabbit hole gets really deep and dark. Why would I give you my money? If I'm going to give you half of my gains for the next 40 years, my brother, they're not even giving you a child. So what am I going to give you for half of it? We have to really have a real answer to that, a legitimate, and then talk to your wife about it. Talk to your family about it too. And then you see what I'm saying? And just because you have a financial advisor, once you're locked in, they're getting paid off of you. And then, like I'm saying, it's just like, this is a long plan. And is it truly outside of your ability? You need to figure that out. And they're going to tell you stuff, but now you need to take the answers, and I need you to have an answer about it. Your only bias is good and safe, which is perform. Yeah, I've done the same on YouTube. That doesn't matter. I think you want a financial advisor. I figured out the answer. So maybe I'm judging you, but I have a good discernment with this. But I think you just want a financial advisor to say you have one. You don't care about money, if that's the case. Because especially if that's all you care about, again, I got people locked in from what we've done for free. So, but you see what I'm saying? A financial advisor is not going to elevate your financial position. Only you can. Ironically enough, I think your financial position would elevate more if you didn't give somebody your money, as odd as that sounds. But yeah, a lot of people do want that, and I think this is a weird conversation now, because all the answers have boiled down to what you get or what he's told you, but not what you're giving up. And that's wild to me. Starts with the dream, making, then switch to investing. Now I'm growing, baby. Amen. But yeah, if you're a gambler, go give your money to somebody. That makes sense. That's the only reason why I'd pay somebody 40% a year, or 40% over the lifetime. You know why? Because if I kept it myself, I know I'd lose 100. But if I know I can make 5% a year and I'm only aiming for adequate, why would I give you half? It really doesn't make any sense. They don't even. So if you give certain advisors, certain people, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, contact your financial professional. None of this is a recommendation. I'm just a little Egyptian boy. I'm a dumbass. But, with all my dumbass knowledge, most people in this industry, they get paid the moment you sign up. So the moment you start putting your capital with them, they're going to charge you a 1% to 2% fee a year. So if they don't charge you on profits, which many of them take a portion of the gain, so they're entitled to a portion of your profits from your money, they're charging you 1% to 2% off top. So if you have $100,000, let me just show you. Again, the average is for hedge funds, it's called 2 and 20. That's changed recently, but 2 and 20, 2% of assets, 20% of profits. Even for like a financial advisor, they may do like a 1 and 5 or maybe a one and none. They may just charge you 1.5%, or now with rates up, they just charge their operating expenses maybe 2.5%. So we'll do 0.25. So you're gonna pay homeboy $2,500 a year, and then as the account grows, so now guess what happens? Let's say your account, our account, we had 100 grand. Now it ended at a couple years later, 267. So now we're going to pay him $6,000 and then give him the other 2,000. And then how many years did that take? Add another 2,000 to 6,000 a year. And then the dividends, they're going to get some of that too. And then keep doing that for the next 40 years. And then the more money you make, the more money they get paid off your fees. The bigger your account goes, the bigger you're paying in fees. So the more you grow, the more you're giving away. So imagine with our long term, the more we grew, the more we got in free deposits. The more we grew, the more we started shopping for houses. In that scenario, the more you grow, you are literally paying triple the amount of fees that you started with. So just off the same 2.5%, my 100K that we could have started with, I would have paid $2,000 a year. If I just grew, if I just bought the SPY and it tripled, guess what? I'm paying them $6,800 now a year, not including if they had any clause towards gains or anything. Not to mention if they want anything else. And now, what if they make a mistake? You haven't heard about a mistake in 15 years, so that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, and the real question is this out of your ability? When you have watched a dumb Egyptian boy do this and beat everybody, is this out of your ability? And if that young Egyptian boy is willing to even offer you the plays for free and give you a very simple model, is this out of your ability? And if you are so willing to give them money, why, go help out the poor is what I ask. So yeah, I don't know. Is it out of your ability? That's what you got to ask yourself, man. But that's the reality of what's going on. And like I'm saying, if you can't control money and you are irresponsible and you don't have that ability and you are going to gamble it away, then give them your money. I can agree with that because you won't have anything in the long run. I'd rather give them half. But if you're a well-mannered person, and if you could build up a video game character, I think you could build up a portfolio. If you could build a My Player, if you could build up 99 fletching in RuneScape, if you could sit through a game of League of Legends and understand the difference between top and bottom lane, my guy, I think you could get growth in value. And I think you could do this. So yeah, and if not, then yeah, give it away. Give it away. Amen. Amen. He said, I'm ADC bang. No, but for real though, bro. It's the same. And that's what I'm saying. I think some of you, if I put it in a video game sense, you wouldn't pay somebody to build up your character unless you're Elon. and then they'd be like, and then they get half of your performance. You'd be like, what? Hold up. And then the better you get at the game, they get more? What? RBRK. Well, yeah, I think apply yesterday's philo. Shame and value. You need to understand the value, truly. You need to learn to spot the value. And if you're going to give something up, you got to give it up shamelessly, but understand why you would, or how is it going to make you feel? Or are you doing this action just to feel pride? You know, and this is going to give you the answer. But the sad part is, like, whatever you do, this is a critical juncture in your life. Because now you're either going to learn just one way or the other. You see what I'm saying? You're going to do it on your own, and that's going to change the trajectory, or you're going to learn the answer after a certain amount of time and run around. And that's why you got to think about this now and spot the value and ask yourself about what's motivating it, and is it what you're willing to give up for it, and how it makes you feel, and the appearance and all of that. So I hope it helps, and good luck. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. Real Coat News on Twitter. No propaganda.
In France and Europe, in a time when sovereign AI is certainly like a marketing term thrown around a lot, but it is something that's become much more politically critical, where countries and companies in Europe are looking to rely on local tech as much as they can.
Is Mistral like the pin-up for Europe right now?
I mean, right now they're certainly the highest. This would make them the most valuable. I think they're probably the most valuable. We don't have an evaluation for Wave, which is a self-driving company based here in the UK. I think there's been a little bit of wavering enthusiasm for Mistral. I don't think people have been as impressed with their models, but there's certainly a lot of energy and certainly a lot of investor money tied up with their success.
Bloomberg's Mark Bergen coming to us from London. We appreciate it. Now coming up, can Amazon's extended Prime Day lure more shoppers? That's next. This is Bloomberg Tech. Oh man, it ended. Very good. MO got a downgrade, I'm pretty sure. No, Divi payments come out, but then Staples, all the Staples aren't doing too hot. And then I think there was a downgrade. Elon thanks Linda Yaccarino for her contribution to X. It's basically a Prime week. So weird. I don't know, Prime Day. Let's see it, bro. They all just got sneaky. Can we go back to the day of discounts? They were like, we could raise the price and then lower it.
No, man, just give us the discount and we'll buy it. Okay, Prime Day. Come on, Jeff. You're getting married. Why doesn't he get, isn't it when the Indian billionaires get married, they buy people homes and shit? Why can't Jeff, to celebrate his wedding, why don't you give us a real Prime Day deal, Jeff? How about everybody gets half off everything? You know that? I'm pretty sure when Mumbani got married, they gave away cars, they paid people's food for a year, they did all this stuff, and no, Jeff marry plastic face, and I can't even get 10% off. Bullshit, Hefe. We want more, Hefe. Stupid. Oh, Ambani, my bad. I thought Mumbani, Ambani. Isn't that crazy? I still won't forget, bro. It was right around when I was buying Meta at $90. This is why people didn't want to buy stocks, because Hefe got up on TV and was like, don't buy a flat screen. There's going to be a recession. He said, if I were you, and I'm not, because I just destroyed a bridge to build a boat, and so I'm nothing like you, but I wouldn't buy a flat screen right now. There's going to be a recession. You don't remember that? I remember it. Uh-huh. Didn't Cena get a Lambo? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. What? And then they gave away, to the people, in the city. They gave them, free groceries for a year. All of that. All we got was environmental pollution from everybody flying to the wedding for Jeff. Come on. This is crazy. I don't even care about ESG like that. Crazy. The Lambo index has been rising. Cars have dropped prices a lot, but they've kind of stabilized over the last 6 months pretty much. It's still just lower, but yeah. But some cars have gotten substantially cheaper. Especially luxury vehicles. Oh, what? Did they change car gurus? No. Bro, you can't even look past 100 miles anymore. But yeah, look, that's disgusting. Even within 100 miles, we used to look at 500 plus, and it would be 400. There's 500 Lambos within 100 miles of San Diego. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So yeah, they're everywhere now. So it's not... I've noticed it too. Even Ferraris came down. And some of these that... Yeah, bro. Oh, what? This is 679 now? Oh, dude, that was at 1 million when I posted the last pic. You remember when I posted that? That's crazy, bro. 180 with 13,000 miles. That was the one I had. Crazy, bro. But yeah, they're not... They're very cheap comparatively to what they were a year or two ago. They're half off. Sales are slow for you at Lambo San Diego? Oh, no way. Yeah, I mean, shit, bro. I tried to trade a car for a piece of land the other day. Yesterday, he got mad at me. There was a piece of land, and I had a car that was worth more than the land. So I wanted to see if the buyer would take the land or the car instead, and he said no. I offered him many things. I know, that's it too. A hybrid. I wanted the Revolto, but I'm like, dude, I don't want a fucking hybrid. That's it. What's next? What's next?
You've seen one 500K. That's crazy. Because when they first came out, they were going for like $1 million. They're like $799. In Costa Rica? Ooh. Enjoy it. That sounds very awesome, bro. I was bumming out on the beach last weekend, so I feel heavy. The Euroball, you could get a Eurus easier than ever now. I'm telling you, bro, Euruses got really expensive, and now they're cheap. Like, I just saw one, dude, you could get, if you get the right, I bet you'll see Euruses for sub 100K very soon. Depending on mileage. I'm sure if you get a salvage one, you can find one now, but I've seen clean title ones with high miles at just above 100, bro. So if this keeps going, I think you're going to be able to get that car very, very cheap. As long as you don't care about, if they get it within good mileage, because you could drive that car. I had one, and it was very, very drivable. The maintenance wasn't bad on it, but it just might. They're already coming out with a new body style, so that's the only issue. But if you like that look, bro, I think that car is going to be very, very accessible. It already is starting to get there. Long term, well, every time I make a move, I post it on this channel. So if you even go to this channel and hit the post tab, you could see the whole entire long term. And then the video is called how we're turning $500 into $1 million, I think. That was the original one. I gotta get it in the description. The Starada. I saw those. And then, but aren't those tanking? So I think that car is gonna go up in value down the line because it's very rare. There's only like 1,500 of them, but nobody wants to buy them because they're off-road. But I think once they get crashed and shit, and all that, yeah. So I have looked into it. You couldn't tell. I don't know. I don't know if it's ready yet. But if you do work at Lambo San Diego, since this is going to be a Southern California farm, I am kind of expecting you guys to provide a tractor. Okay? So would love to sponsor you guys, and we'll put up the Lambo flag on the farm. But we do need a tractor. That is your guys' heritage. Okay? So let's bring it back to the roots, baby. Let's bring it back to the roots. Woo! You can find one, just tell them, bro. Just tell them. Say, hey, I don't know. I bought a car from you guys before. I've purchased from Lamborghini San Diego. So they better not act Hollywood on me. I need that tractor. Yeah, Lamborghini made tractors. That's how they started. You guys didn't know that? Lamborghini was farm equipment. And then the Ferrari was like, you can't make a car like me. And then he said, watch me do it. And then boom, Mario and Luigi was born. I think they still do make the tractors. Coin circle up or circle down, coin up. And Spy hasn't moved in a while, man. We got into these conversations and bathroom breaks, and then we chilled out after the little Apple Mexico dump. Oh, Trump to impose 20% tariff on Philippines goods. That doesn't sound good. I swear, yeah, Trump sent letter to Philippines. But isn't it supposed to, and then 25 on goods from Brunei? But that's weird. Because isn't Philippines supposed to be 0? Interesting. That could affect Google.
I'm checking Truth Social. Nah, Jollibee. So yeah, he posted. Oh, Iraq. Damn, bro. Even Iraq is getting tariffed. All I'm saying, any terrorism you export will now face a 25% tariff. You may not follow through on women's rights, but you're gonna follow through on free and fair trade. That is all. I hope that we can negotiate in the future. Moldova, 25%. Iraq, 30%. So they're all coming in. It's all on True Social. Algeria, Moldova, Sultan Omar. Who the fuck is this? Oh, is this Brunei? Sultan. I'm like, is this the Lion King? Or, yeah. The Sultan. All right. I think the Philippines one is weird. That's it. The other ones are random as fuck. But the Philippines should have been 0, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but yeah. For too long, Prince Ali Ababwa, he has got away with a lot. He screwed us on a lot of trade. But no longer will we let Prince Ali Ababwa get away with it. Today I'm announcing a 30% tariff. Prince Ali a long time. Strong as 10 regular trades equal as he. They will buy all over the bottoms. They won't freak out at the top. And they will go buy and they will sell if they're going to go buy a house. Prince Ali a long time. Strong as 10 regular yen. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I know. I get what you guys say. You're like, I know, I go crazy. I apologize. I didn't. I just came over me. Prince Ali. Dude, I've even made like a Twitter video of that. I love that one, bro. I'm a big fan. It's honestly very like stereotypical that the Arab dude gets hyped up on Prince Ali. So sorry for perpetuating that stereotype, but I love it. I love it. Groomsmen walk out to cold. I thought you were about to say you're gonna have your groomsmen walk out to that. I'm like, bro, dude, we can't do that at an Arab wedding, bro. That's gonna go viral. They're gonna. If you walk out to Prince Ali, bro, I don't know what's gonna happen. It would be a good video, but I approve the cult music. I approve of the cult music. Am I gonna make a new song about the farm? Dude, I don't think you guys realize I'm not gonna have time to do anything. I have a farm now. Dude, we gotta get this farm ready to go. Like, that's it. We gotta start having a cult. I don't know, man. I don't like the look of this. Long time is getting rich.
Yeah, Uncle might. He's not gonna be there, but yeah, we'll see. But I'm gonna be busy, bro. Grok was too compliant to user prompts and was being manipulated. This is being addressed. Didn't they release the unhinged Grok earlier? Wasn't that like a month ago? Because I remember they did something like that. This was just like a broad update gone wrong, or whoever removed that code. Still crazy. And then again, you just got the Trump tariff shit, but it didn't really move. You actually had a drop and then pop. This is what I was telling you guys, where you're going to get all of these responses. Market, because again, I think Philippines was high. The other ones were random. Everyone's going to take that all in, and then they're going to say, all right, good, bad, or no, next effect August 1st. You're feeling Greenacre vibes and love it? Nah, bro. You've been throwing shade for so long, bro. I don't know why I let you just stay. I think it's because of that. I want you to see the grace. But no worries, bro. Amen. It's going to be either a good... it's going to be a good Netflix documentary or a bad one. But, you know, just, yeah. Some of you reveal yourselves. You've done this over the years. But it's okay. Don't worry. You know, may God's will be done. Prince Ali, 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 Ababwa. Strong as death. I gotta stop. See, I gotta cut it out, bro. Tariffs gonna drive the market. No, I'm not too worried about tariffs. Again, like I'm saying, the thing that's happening now is that we need results, results of the economy, results on the consumer. Otherwise, everything else is just, you know, it's the same debate we've had. The only thing that's opening up the door to what we should be worried about is the government spending. Sadly. That's at least my opinion. Documentaries have been fire. They have been. Netflix have been going in on them. Earnings season, I expect surprises. So that's why it's going to be fun. Because right now, people think it's going to be quiet. Because look at everything going on. We all think we know what's happening. We have been exposed to a lot. And then the last earnings have been all tainted by trade. But there's an opportunity where people aren't expecting a lot. I think there's going to be a few that are going to go extremely crazy, and then I think everything is just going to be whatever. But that's kind of what's on the table, or at least that's where people are looking at the surprise this time, because not much is expected. So with low expectations, the room for surprise increases, but then the low expectations, it really, really says that. No shade. No worries, man. Do you want me to talk about it, or do you want me to move on? I'll leave that up to you, because I'm not trying to bother you or anybody. You have added a lot of trash, but you tell me if you want me to elaborate or not. I could end it now. I'm fine with that. Am I gonna haul manure out the barn? I'm gonna try everything once.
Yeah, core weave ripping. Yeah, literally. I don't know why. And then remember Nibis, the self-driving stuff, but it's kind of lagged a little bit. Earnings, I think some of them will. I think a couple will be surprising. But then right now, just the bar is kind of low. But low bar means easy jumps, but then there's a low bar for a reason. And that's just with everything we've gone through and where we're at. And then remember, just shortly after earnings, you get into the final stretch of summer, and then the Fed and rates and all of that. Yeah, Nike was a good example. Exactly. Because that one, people didn't expect much, and then the bar was low, and then they came out good. It wasn't even that crazy, but it was enough to surprise. But remember, there was only a few Nikes this for last season, so yeah. But actually, technically, Nike was this time. I guess they kick it off first. So yeah. The roof, it is in good shape. One side is going to need replacement in a couple years, and then I need a couple of shingles on just random patches of repair, but the overall quality is legit. China Premier meets Arab League Secretary General Xinhua. League calls on China, Arab nations to align development strategies. Yeah, Enphase, someone just said Sunrun, but all the solar plays are starting to run right now. Yep. Some more than others, but they are moving. Remember, it's back and forth. One day good news, one day bad news. Remember I was saying it starts off very slow, then kind of speeds up. I think from here, after Euro close, it'll start to pick up. But yeah, man, it's still 9. So, well, I guess it is already 30 minutes after Euro close. So give it another, yeah, like top of the hour here, 15 minutes. RTX going up. LMT is not. Boeing's near the high again. Remember, they got to upgrade, and I think they're going to benefit a little bit off the EU stuff. So again, we've heard some of that. And then SPY is still coming down. You still have Mag 7. Impact. Apple is still at the low. All right, Dow Jones 14 green, 16 in the red. NASDAQ 37 green, 64 red. No shit. You guys remember in the morning that was 70 green. So it's actually flip-flopped. You have more names down on the NASDAQ, and you're still up 0.5%. Jeez. So again, that's the Mag 7 for you. NVIDIA, Google, all that. And then SPY 223 green, that's flip too. So SPY was already 50-50, but now you have more names red than green. Habibi, Trump hosts lunch for African leaders at 12:05. All right, so well, there's your Trump. You guys are asking me about that.
And nat gas is moving. And you had crazy crude oil numbers earlier. No shit. Alright. Do you guys notice that? The yen calmed down. The yen was up a lot more earlier. So now the bonds are really leading. And then, yeah, dude, you got the Fed minutes. 10, 11, 12, no, 11. So Fed minutes like an hour after FILA. Because I was telling you, the yen is important. Because if the minutes give any clue towards more rate cuts, I think it's going to fuck with the yen. TDS on the high. And NWE and now defense is moving right now. Hold on, I think you're going to get something maybe from this African thing. A lot of defense is moving right now, and then a couple of energy plays. But again, any of these movements, it's still a small day, so just be cautious on the follow-through. Yeah, oil was running up earlier. But then BMNR, I don't know if that was halted or not. Yeah, that one's still continuing lower. But yeah, RTX, we saw that climb, and then again, a couple of these energies, and then other small defense names all started to go up there. Yeah, and then like NTR as well. Like commodities. Commodity, energy shit is all moving right now. But then again, they've already been up all day. So that's what sucks about the slow in summer is that it'll feel like a lot's going on, but it's just because there's nothing going on. Comerman chillin'. Cornerman, I know. Comerman corner. I chill. Believe me, I want to get excited, but I'm like, nothing's happening. I see the movement. You're getting big moves. They're near all-time highs, but summertime. Oh, okay. I'm not good at those songs. Katos again. That's all. Katos, and energy, commodity, food. That's all on the high right now. Well, Powell's not going to say anything today. The Fed minutes are from the meeting a month ago and kind of how they came to their decision. So it's going to be very outdated, but there will be an opportunity for there to be clues in how some of the other people are feeling towards cuts and how soon. Because if you recall, Powell's the guy who's like, beefing with Trump and all that, but there has been a couple of people on the Fed, even guys like Bostic, who you wouldn't expect, they're calling for rate cuts, and they have gotten a little bit more bullish. And then Apple today is a wild one. And it's weird, bro. The long term doesn't. Now with only a couple names, it doesn't move the same. Yeah, you have I think Waller, Bowman, and then Bostic, and I even think Harker. Why do people want to cut so bad? Well, at this point, just because look at the economy, look at jobs, look at everything, and then the fact that, remember Janet Yellen issued a bunch of debt that now you have to refinance this year. Why do you want to pay $1 billion a year in interest? And then based on the criteria that Powell laid out and acted on right before the election, that criteria has been met multiple times over, and now he is actually not cutting. So as we are about to have to pay all of this money,
he's doing that. So again, I don't know if you guys remember, I didn't want a rate cut in September. Do you understand? You guys remember I was telling you why the fuck would Powell cut rates, and then he did it. So I don't think they should have cut rates in the beginning. But now you're so deep in the game right now. Like I'm saying, why would you willfully pay more on interest due to Janet Yellen's decision than you would pay to fund your entire military? When the job market has only gotten better and other things are only improving. That's the dilemma now. So it's just Powell would have had more cover, and he shouldn't have cut ahead of the election. And that's where this confusion is arising from. This is how I'm framing it. Because a lot of people are asking me at different points why we care now, why you this, that. But it's like, this is the story. This is where it started from. Because again, I'm not really a rate cut supporter. But at this point, it's like, what the fuck are you doing then? It's just, at this point, it's not about the economy. It's about a policy error. Powell made a mistake, and 7 months later, we still haven't corrected it. Do you guys realize that? That's what it is. That's how I view it. That's how I think some other people in the market are viewing it. It was a policy error. That's why, for the first time in history, when the Fed cut rates by 50 basis points, the long end of the curve went up 100 basis points. That's never happened in history. That was the market communicating this was an error. And so that's why this little debate on why, like, is it because of Trump? Is it this? No, it's just we need to correct Powell's mistake, and that has not been corrected yet. Whether or not you have given a standard or a guideline or a criteria, all of that has been arbitrary and very subjective, because now look at where we are, and that's what makes this such a weird topic. Because we shouldn't cut rates, but then why did we cut rates? And then, well, where are we now? And then what's the policy? And then how much we're spending? And then why are we, like, again, I don't think any of you right now, like I'm telling you, if you had the ability to take your maxed out credit card at 32% interest, if you had the ability to move it to a 0% card or a 1% card on a balance transfer, would you say no? And say, no, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna pay more because that's gonna be better for us. No, because I don't think Powell, well, again, Powell already cut rates. So you're saying if he cuts, inflation is gonna rocket. He cut double 7 months ago, inflation dropped. Why can't you acknowledge that? That's reality. That's what I'm saying. The problem is Powell made a mistake 6 months ago. It's not, let's just be real about it, you guys. I'm more worried about government spending causing inflation, not Powell. Do you see what I'm saying? So, well, if you get that part, why did you ask? That's what I'm saying. If you truly understand that, and you're like, so again, like, look, if Powell goes and cuts rates a quarter basis point next meeting, you think that's going to guarantee inflation? Why would you think that? Again, last time they did double rate cut, your mortgages got expensive. You're paying more. So it's not like you didn't get inflation went down. Even with double cuts and a tariff, the price to import a vehicle from Japan has plummeted. So like I'm telling you, this is the confusion a lot of people are rooted in. Inflation doesn't come from tariffs. Yeah, rates and financial conditions can affect it, but it's the real primary, cause is government spending, government demand. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, whether he cuts rates or not, that's not what's going to get you hyperinflation or not. They've already done that, and that's your bill. But him cutting rates or not it's pointless now. We need to correct what happened 7 months ago. So even if he makes an action, I don't think it's going to change anything, because you have to catch up to where you should have been. So either the economy needs to change, or he needs to. But it's been a while, the economy hasn't changed. But again, just to hold this idea that Powell's going to cut and you're going to get inflation, This is what I was trying to tell people, like even 2 months ago. The reality, you guys, there has to be a reality check. And I'm not saying this to bully you. I don't want you to feel bad, but I don't want you to walk being like, I don't want you guys confused. Have clarity. Last time the Fed cut rates double, rates went up more than ever, and prices on the official gauge went down. And it was on a time frame that you could have had a baby. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't, oh, maybe next month. You did that for 7-8 months in a row and got the same answer. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, like, believe me, Powell shouldn't have cut rates. But now the guy is playing around, and there's just so much weird shit now. But it's just, I don't know why we would be worried about that. So let me see if I can find it, but that's what I'm saying. The thing I'm trying to give clarity on, like, your inflation worry is real. You're just pointing your finger at the wrong person or the wrong object. The inflation is going to come from the big, beautiful bill. The inflation is going to come from that. Regardless if Powell cut rates or not, the bill was going to inject or take away inflation. That's what I've been trying to communicate for months now. And that's where I'm saying that's why Powell should just, it doesn't really matter what he does. You're now just thinking about interest and other things and maybe financial conditions, but the real, this is going to cause inflation or not, that's going to be a result of actual consumer and what happens of this policy, and then ultimately the government demand and spending. Is this it? But this is what I'm saying. And I hope you feel me, and apologize if I did hurt your feelings, because I'm not. But do you guys get what I've been trying to say this year for some of you? If you truly understand my goal of clarity and why I provide this info for free, I don't want y'all to look like this, bro. And I don't want you to promote and propagate false information. Like, I can't let y'all go out like this, bro. Do you see? This is core CPI. Bro, Powell cuts rates by double. Everyone's mortgage skyrockets, or potential mortgages. Long rates shoot up. Wall Street gets cheap low end of the rates. Now it's supposed to ease things up for Biden. Again, ahead of an election, bro. Ahead of an election. Ignore all of that. Just look at that, the fact he cut rates and then it went up. But look, I don't care the reason. You see, you're falling for the trap. It's just like when, this is how I got I could get, at one point, I was able to sell anything to any millennial for any price. All I had to do was say supply chain. Because if I gave you bullshit and I gave you a justification, as long as you like the justification, you would accept the bullshit. Yes or no? Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter why it happened. The reality, they cut rates. Inflation did not go 1 point higher ever. And within 9 months, it plummeted. Why would you be worried about Powell and inflation? Not to mention when he raised rates, 7 months later, you had 9% inflation. Right? You remember that? Do you see what I'm saying? We can't, if you want a real conversation, this needs to be acknowledged. And it's okay. I'm not trying to bring any of you down. I'm just trying to tell you money supply is the issue, not Jerome Powell. Powell fucked up here. That's why all of this looks like this. And objectively, something is odd. Something went wrong, and it was just a policy error on Powell from September. And so any move you do now is correcting that. It's not changing anything new. It's all a correction rather than creating. It's all correcting, not creating. And everything that's going to get created will be due to the big, beautiful bill. Inflation created or not, jobs, revenue, all of that. Ta-da! Well, there's countless sets of data. I spent a month on the watch list, week after week, highlighting, and I said, you guys can't do this anymore. It has been 9 months. 9 months of objective data. That's what I said, the consumer sentiment. People reacting and freaking out over 220 people moving trillions of dollars. And then again, the objective evidence was not showing that. And that's why I'm like, everything you're worried about and talking about that you're scared of, you have evidence that is showing you what it is doing, and none of that warrants the fear. He would have said again, my brother, you keep going to justifications. You are not addressing what is in front of you, though. So until then, we're not going to connect. You're not going to understand what I'm telling you. That's the problem with a lot of the content that I go over in this new generation, is that you guys believe as long as you have a justification, you are ignoring reality. That's not okay. We'll agree to disagree, but yes, but there is an objective fact. The Fed cut rates and inflation went down after almost a year. So it's an objective fact that saying that rate cuts are going to guarantee inflation is absurd. That is an absurd, do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, let's agree to disagree, but that is an objective fact that cannot be changed. That's an absurdity. It's being absolutely absurd to say, I am going to get guaranteed inflation when last time the same exact action actually led to me having cheaper things in my life. That's really weird. A Trump-linked crypto token is nearing a public exchange listing. We're not comparing a completely different time frame. I'm just starting from the beginning. You're trying to start from right now. Ta-da! That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying. If you pick it apart and cherry pick, then you play the whole game of next month. Welcome to Wall Street, brother. I know how this game is played. Why do you think I keep getting the right answer? Let's go to the beginning. Alpha and Omega, baby. What does it start with? The data. Yeah, the material plays are coming. No. I saw Alcoa climbing up. It just triggered. That's back to open. Where are the Africans? Trump was supposed to go live with African leaders. He's not live. Mo is getting, well, we got rid of half of it, bro. I still need my final numbers, though. Eggs on the high. Don't tell Trump. Don't tell him. I don't think he's gonna go. Remember Ramaphosa That was like a big issue with everything going on. All right. I have a carbo. Well, I'm gonna go pee. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. We are gonna hear from Trump soon. Defense names are still running, but this just feels like the upside down version of yesterday. In the last 2 days, it's chill, bro. It's chill. So I will be right back. Pay attention.
Where we're going to see the form of sentiment and positioning to the semiconductor names. One of my favorite semiconductor names, which is clearly breaking out, is KLA Corp. We do not own it in the Joe T. Obviously, we've owned it in the past, and it certainly will be a candidate when we rebalance at the end of
Joe,
July.
do you have the other semi-caps? Do you have AMAT? We have AMAT. We've talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about. So semi-equipment names, they're rebuilding the positioning. They're seeing the momentum being reestablished once again. But I think it's an inflection point. I think Adam Parker on Closing Bell talked about this with you several months ago, where it was, okay, let's now go away from software names. Let's move into the semi names. And that's proving to have the fruition. But if I can really, it's Oracle that stands out in the software.
If I can just point out that what you're describing has a lot more to do with sentiment than fundamentals, all right? The semi-cap equipment names, the theory behind that, the thesis has remained constant for several years. But they went through that period, as you pointed out, the 24, that nobody liked it. Now they're coming into vogue. And that happens with these subsectors. I do think as we're talking about these subsectors that you can pick stocks. Scott, forgive me, because I go to this often, but you didn't mention it. Cisco is in the early stages of what Oracle started to do 3 years ago. Oracle, prior to 3 years ago, was looked at as just a database company. They got this Oracle Cloud infrastructure going, and their multiples shot up from the high teens to now the low 30s. Cisco is in the early stages of doing the same thing, and for the same reason. The same drivers are there, which is you're building out all this infrastructure for AI. It's going to come to Cisco's benefit.
You know, there's an ugly side to this too. And if you take a look at a company, and this is to our point and to what they were saying on Salesforce, take a look at T-Tech Holdings. I used to own this a number of years ago. Stock traded up to 100, great momentum. They're call centers. So they're the first to be disintermediated by AI. It's reflecting the share price that's gone from 100 down to 5. And the fear is that you see that with Adobe, because by these chips and by AI, you're empowering businesses to create the products that Salesforce has and that others have. And not only that, tailored to their specific needs rather than general product at cheaper prices.
Well, there's a chart for you to show, I guess, the story that you're talking about.
Yep.
What was, I don't know what the high was, but
100.
$5 stock.
Yep.
What's the market cap now?
Market cap, it's a micro cap, 248 million. It traded at 100, as recently, or 120 actually was the peak.
That's even lower now than
that's
even lower now than the threshold of what we even talk about on this program. It's only relevant because of the slide from $100 to 5.
And the AI story, what AI can do to a company.
To Steve's point, not everyone wins in the AI story. Right. If we could show a chart, a one-year chart of Adobe, that stock's down 33% over the last 12 months.
And I've said because of AI.
And absolutely, because it's cannibalizing the existing products that they have and that they've put in place.
So let me just move on, because aside from tech,
it also went up like 300% the year before.
It really has been a large cap move that's carried the market to new highs. It's why the S&P has so dramatically outperformed the equal weight, because it's the big guns in the market are the ones that are performing. Caterpillar, for example, up 47% since the April bottom. Disney up 49% since the April bottom. Netflix is up 46% since the bottom. You get the theme here. I bring all three of those up because there were calls today. Caterpillar upgraded at Melius. Quote, we're coming back to a buy rating after a short 6 months on the sidelines.
More
Weiss,
solar,
you own that stock, and you did buy more of the XLI today, which is the industrials ETF.
Yeah, so look, the tax bill undisputably is going to help companies that sell equipment, you know, not $100 machines, $100 million machines like Asmel, but Caterpillar and other equipment. And
Asmel, is that ASML?
That is great.
Are you supposed to pronounce that one?
But it just made it better.
The one that we don't pronounce, you're supposed to pronounce
you'll
Asmel?
see a resurgence in the economy.
No way.
As soon as we get the
it's
tariff
not
situation
ASML,
settled.
it's just Asmel.
So I don't regard this as expensive. In the old days, it probably was an inflated multiple, but under the new valuation paradigm in the market, where I would argue that the market's insensitive to valuation,
Asmel.
this to
Bro,
me was
the
a
one we
compelling
don't
buy when I
pronounce.
bought
Is
it.
that
And,
what you said?
as I
It's
mentioned, I think
Asmel?
last week before,
It's amazing.
I sized up the position to a
Do you
core
know how I
position.
like I be
Now,
pronouncing
wasn't
the
working
names when they
XLI
don't have
because
a
I'm doing work on
pronunciation?
a number of components.
And
in
now the
XLI,
one that I only
and
say the
before I'm
letters
able to
on,
do my work, I think you continue to see it
it's
move
actually
upward. This is
Asmel.
breaking out.
I've
so
never
I wanted
known
to add
that.
to that position to participate.
Wow, I've learned
Disney,
something new today.
140
In
goes
real
to 140
time.
from
Wow.
125. That's at Citi. They
Asmel
still want you to buy
Holdings.
it.
That's fucking
we believe
amazing.
Earnings will focus on performance of domestic parks, direct-to-consumer profitability, and the upcoming launch of the ESPN flagship product. Jimmy, you own it again, 49% since the bottom.
That was a pretty strong list of positives
Asmel,
that you just
kinda
went
like
through from the analyst, and I totally
yes.
agree. There's a lot of shots
Asmel.
on goal here. Now, the stock right now is consolidating in this $120 to $125 range after the gains that you pointed
Dude,
out,
that's
Scott.
mind-blowing.
I think probably that it's not going to do too much other than this range until the next earnings report comes out. It trades at around 20 times a forward multiple. It's not cheap. It's not terribly expensive, but for it to go higher from here, it's going to have to outperform on earnings, which it's done solidly for the last 2 years. And based on all the things that you just listed, which I totally agree, I think it will continue to outperform on earnings. Steve, you just mentioned a resurgence in the economy. People are going to go, they already are going on the cruise lines. They're going to Disney World, Disneyland. It doesn't matter what the ticket prices are.
I thought
They
it was
are
just like a
going.
different
It'll show up in
ethnicity of
earnings.
sugar.
There was a downgrade the
That
other
just
day
came from somewhere
of
else.
Netflix for no other reason
All right, man,
than
I'm
the
an
stock
idiot.
has just
I'm
been one of the best in the market for this year. And it is up 46% since the April bottom. There's your year-to-date chart, which is, you take that period out, obviously. It has been a place to play offense and defense. Joe, I'll give you this one. Citi reiterates it neutral today. They've had a huge run. We expect Netflix to report its revenue and EBIT modestly ahead of sell-side estimates.
Yeah, but then the following quarter after that, I think you're going to see an uptick. The content, the suite of content for the end of 2025 looks excellent. The live sports programming, I think you stay with Netflix, and any opportunity you get to buy it on a dip, you want to do that. I would also put Spotify in that same conversation. Both of those stocks are slightly higher today. Both of those stocks last several days have had mild corrections.
All right, financials. I want to talk about those too, because they've played a big part. Certainly JPM and Goldman have. That's why financials as a group have been at a record high as well. They report earnings next week. You guys already know that. Several downgrades yesterday.
You're getting a couple
week
reds. I'm
ahead
just
of the
letting
earnings.
this
Now you
play.
get some upgrades. KBW says JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley outperform. Jimmy, you want to take JPM?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this for quite some time that if you're going to own any of the financial stocks, and this goes for any sector, frankly, you have to own the best of breed. I do think JP Morgan is at the top of the list. We can argue about whether Goldman Sachs or somebody else, but, it's in that category. Then after that, you fill in around it. Now, JP Morgan is not cheap relative to the rest of them, but that's okay. It is the leader. And what we've seen with JP Morgan is when things go wrong in the financial sector, not my prediction, but that they come out of it looking stronger. We can look 2 years ago when they picked up First Republic and the assets there. That's the beauty of being the biggest and the best in any sector. So I do like JP Morgan here because fundamentally, I like the financial
Liquid
sector.
was already moving.
With less regulation and with a booming economy.
Okay, that went 40%
BofA
back
says
to
of
12.
the earnings that are coming up, the stocks are likely to need support from positive EPS revisions. They do obviously like the large cap U.S. banks. It just brings me back to what Mike Mayo has always said, right? Goliath is winning, I think was the way that he talked about those. Joe, Goldman, if you're going to have a renewed IPO and M&A cycle, well, no surprise that one's been doing well.
And you are already having that. M&A is up 6% year on year. We're seeing a little bit of a turnaround. May was a very strong month as it relates to M&A. Investment banking has been very strong. I always talk about the engagement of the retail community. They are participating in the markets. I think the other thing that's benefited a lot of these large money center banks, and I'm of the belief you stay with them in terms of positioning. I'm obviously long JP Morgan personally, and through the ETF, I'm long Goldman Sachs personally, but you stay with this. I think the other thing that has happened is you have seen a positioning rotation.
Yeah, well, how this?
6 months ago, we were
how
on
are
this
we
desk
gonna
talking
make
about the financial sector. About
all right, well, this is more important. You guys need to help me find out what's the system we're gonna use for the pig to pick stocks. Because you guys know I'm doing that, right? Lending Tips does not like this idea. He said, who is gonna watch a pig picking stocks? And I said, everybody. I think I would watch that. I would love to. So you guys know I'm making the pig a long term, right? So I want to make the pig a long term, and then we need to make a system of letting it pick stocks. So how are we gonna do that? I was gonna lay like 500 companies out on like a piece of paper, like I'll have it bounce a beach ball. Oh, now you're talking. Mm-hmm. I already have his name. You guys will find his name out when you meet him. So I'm leaving that one a surprise. I want to do it, but some people have told me they don't like this idea. I think it's great. Because then we'll have our long term. Then you could see my performance. Then we'll see Wall Street's performance. And then we'll be able to see if a pig could do better randomly. That's the new random account. You see, I think it's a great idea. I know. And then we'll have, so you could have, if you were a pig, and then that's old Wall Street adage, bears make money, bulls make money, pigs get slaughtered. Let's see. Let's see. That's what they said. They said PETA is going to cancel me. But it's like, it's a legitimate farm. Technically, he'll be the only animal to start, probably. So what's the... Yeah, I don't know. PETA! Is he gonna sell a course? I mean, if he does good for 6 months, that's usually the next step, right? And then he does watch this stream, so, he'll be watching the stream, and then he'll get ideas, and then he'll disagree, and then he's like, you know what? Yeah. And then when push comes to shove, and then he'll take the sponsorship money, and then push comes to shove, he's too deep in the game. When they ask him about Vlad and coins, he's like, it's great for investors because I didn't really know that much when I started, so now, and then boom, and now everyone's fucked. And then we win because we got a long term. And someone told us the truth, and it wasn't Josh. Finger to the sky, baby. So yeah, if he does good enough, yeah, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I want it to be exposed to 500 options, maybe 100, and then we'll use S&P 100 maybe, and then I want it to pick from there. Every month we'll give him like $100, and we'll see what he does. And then if he doesn't do good enough to sell a course, then he's good enough for dinner. Can you make it an ETF? Well, here's the beauty, is that once I do this, if it gets enough traction, everybody with a lack of creativity will copy it, and then they'll start making ETFs and courses, and they'll do everything we just talked about. So that's the beauty. That's how it starts. They're too scared to try it, then we try it, confirm it, then they'll copy it. Is that how it works? I don't know. You tell me. I'm just observing. But I do need to find a way to pick 500 stocks, though, like randomly for a pig. We have enough land, So, yeah. We get food piles. I can't lay out 500 piles of food. Season, is that the one with the Fed? I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, by sectors. Ooh, you're on to something, Juraj. Yep, I like it. I like it. Why are we stopping at one pig? Bro, I don't, because you guys know I've never handled a farm before, right? So I hope we could get somebody in there to help out. But for now, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So we're going to start with one. This is how it starts. Why just one? I know. This is how we ended up with 3 long terms, you guys. You guys know that, right? We started with the original. Now they're like, why not bigger? And then they're like, well, I didn't get the what if I started later? So I don't know, man. We gotta decide. A couple names move in. Cyber 2. Okta again. Palo Alto's just up. Hasn't really been moving. All that matters is your start. Amen. Boeing again, too. You raise quails, chicken, and meat. What's a meat rabbit? I've never. Excuse me. It's like, is it to eat? I hope. I've never. Wait, what's a meat rabbit, bro? I've never ate rabbit. I've seen people eat rabbit. That's cool. Because that's what I noticed when I read the zoning of the property. There's specific zoning for rabbits and rabbit farming. So I didn't know that, but eating rabbit isn't popping out here in Cali. Yeah, I've never ate rabbit, but I know people who have. They've told me about it. Interesting. Rabbit is delicious? No. It's a big. I like gaming. I like pigeon. I'm a big fan of pigeon. I love pigeon. It's so weird. EGG egg. That one is up 100% now. The fuck? I've never had horse, no. My girls, they eat horse in Europe. I think that's so sad. I like the horses. But no, I've never ate horse. I've had deer. To get horse pee is disgusting. Microsoft pledges $4 billion towards AI education. After $4 billion, researchers were perplexed that the educated AI came out a racist. How could this have happened? That's the NEM gold again. I mean, off topics, yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be this slow in summer. You guys could be off topic as long as we're locked in. And two, just remember though, you are liable to get banned. But we've cleared out a lot of people, so I'm very glad about that because now I think it should open up more freedom for the rest of you. But you do know what is expected of you, right? So as long as you know what's expected of you, read the room, I think you'll be good. But just remember, it's been very, very slow. Like, even then, I think we've gotten, like, maybe one headline every 20, 30 minutes, if that. So, yeah, it's still super duper slow. PCT. I get email? Yeah, please do. I'd love to take a look at that. I just have no familiarity with it. Because again, like, even then, sadly, like, this property, it's going to do better as an Airbnb than it will a farm. But since I can do farming, I want to try it. So, and then I see the opportunity to make money with it if we could really get some good stuff there. But, you know, we haven't explored it too much. Ooh, I should get a bird. I want a falcon. No, I'm not muted. Nothing's happened. You found a property, but they converted it to a multifamily to single? You could convert it back if it has the setup, but if it was just like a weird multifamily on one lot with one utility to begin with, then it's kind of the same. Doesn't really matter. But if it has 2 lots, 2 utilities, then it'll be very easy to just parcel it out and separate it again. S Pro. Core and Microsoft. Wait, that wasn't the one the other day, was it? Coursera? Oh. So again, the AI education, I don't know if that's interesting. I don't know if it's going to Coursera, but yeah. So once again, 5 minutes later, you're getting a Wall Street pop on a headline. Yeah, I don't know why Core is related to that. You get what I'm saying? So this is the 5th time that's happened today. Headline comes in, nobody reacts, and then people just attach it to a random thing, and then it moves because everyone has nothing to trade right now. So yeah, I read you that headline a couple minutes ago, but now Core, 5 minutes later, people are tying that in. I don't know if it has a link, except for they just sell courses. Very fast. That's happened multiple times today. Remember I was telling you, you're hearing these headlines and then later you'll get the reaction. Sometimes overreaction, sometimes under, but yeah, I think it goes to show what we're doing. I'm down. We should watch. Do you guys want? This is what you guys think is gonna be me. I'm so down. I'm down, bro. This makes me happy. I don't want him to be that big, but yeah. I'm bobbing, bro. I'm bobbing my head already. I like the bird, too. Oh, yeah, look at the big! Yeah, bro, this is amazing. I hope. God willing. God willing. house. Yeah, I don't know if I've always wanted a pig, but I don't know how. Like, yeah, I've always had like even my house now. I could probably do a pig, but I'm not trying to like take care of a pig, dude. But this property, it's a farm, so. Donkey. I like donkey. I hate goats. Fuck goats, dude. You know that? Goats are overhyped. And everyone's like, greatest of all time, bro. You've never met a goat. A goat is terrible. And they got demon eyes. They're annoying. They have no idea what's going on, bro. Yeah, mean animals, bro. I don't like them. Citi and JP Morgan. Remember, banks were the weakness yesterday. They started off pretty good today, but yeah, they're starting to dump again. So that's a new low on an industry. The only other one would be Staples, I believe, but they haven't hit a new low in like an hour. Is my mom against pigs? Yes, my mom is against the pigs, but I am still my own human being. You know, my mom also wants me to marry my cousin, but, you know, I said, Mom, I'm not going to do that. So, you know, Mom's not going to like the pig, but I'll keep it out of sight for her when she arrives. You know, we won't tell her maybe. Just out of sight, out of mind. I'm not joking. I'm not. No. Believe me. I even asked my mom if she's joking, and she says, I'm not. No, bro. This is serious, bro. Is that still common in Egypt? Oh, yeah. Dude, from Egypt to Alabama. What do you say? So yeah, man, you'd be surprised. Sweet home Alligator. It's a good one. I've never heard that. Toast. That's even getting some volume here. They're actually kind of running. Low key going. It has been. Dow Jones. Elon tells Tesla bull to shut up. A long-term bull for shutting up for saying the board needs to act. Toast and Chef warehouse reverse lower. That was a day ago. Yeah, I don't see anything on Toast. It said that they reversed gains this morning, but look at the volume. It's getting biggest volume right now. As I said, that was random. And the world right now where everything is boring and barely moving, that just started picking up. And then Katos from the RTX ship. And then Z. Dan Ives. He told Dan Ives to shut up. He's like, I like Dan Ives sometimes. I like his outfits. I think the funny one is Ross. Ross Gerber is terrible. That's the one Elon should have just. Elon should play the baby music. Gerber is funny, bro. Gerber, who's a Gerber baby. It makes sense. You enlisted in the Navy? You leave for recruitment in August? Aviation tech? Dude, no way. Wow, well, big dog, you are going to be getting one of our shout outs every morning. Wow, bro. Good work and get ready, bro. That is a commitment. No way, bro. I like it. Air Force Tech. Do you have experience with it? How are you going to, like, are they going to put you through training? What are you going to be doing, bro? That's soon. That's August, bro. That's crazy, bro. Congrats. That's it. I know it's you guys saying thank you. He's going to serve. That's why I'm like, wow. That's it. You know, we've heard a lot of people in the chat who have already served. So not too often we have too many chads who are like, Josh, I'm going in to serve next month, bro. But you're right. All right, man. We'll stick with it, and it comes with a lot of benefits too. So just you hear what I say every morning to the veterans, man. And if you're gonna commit to the country and serve, give it your all, bro. And at the end of the day, take advantage of what it provides, and you know, the long-term saving, your future, that is all more than relevant now. So, and I hope you utilize what you get there. And yeah, bro, even from housing to college, that's all still on the table. So yeah, bro, get what is yours, and get ready though too, bro. And I hope you know, you vibed with the call. I'm sure I get ready for a bigger challenge, bro. Get ready for real commitment. Meta gets statement of objections from French antitrust agency. Looking at a new build, nice. Just don't tell the people at the office that you have or don't have an agent yet. Because if you do that and you sign up without it, they're going to take the commission that you could get back. But yeah, new builds are a little bit more now, but then you're going to get a 4% rate, which is the good part. Yeah, use your VA loan at every duty station. No, for real though. It's gonna take, I don't know, I mean, get involved, because you're gonna like have a lot of adjustment in the beginning, and you gotta learn all this shit. But as you start, if you do start going places, you could buy a house, 0 down. You're gonna live in it anyways. You should buy a house. If you have to go multiple places, buy a house everywhere you go. And then when you leave, either rent it out or sell it and call it a day. Because again, you could keep getting VA loans. You know that, right? The fee does go up after the first one. So you still want to focus on getting a good deal and all of that. But yeah. They told me you didn't get the commission back. I know. This is why I tell you guys this. Obviously, you should go like... I have a bunch of co-agents that you could work with. But I'm not here to advertise it like that. And I'm just telling you, if you go to a new build without representation and you put your name down, you have voided the contract. So now they can sell you the property without being entitled to pay a commission. So if you just show up with a co-agent or any agent and they put the name down for you, you're now getting 2.5% back on the whole entire purchase. So, but you can't get it if you already did this. That's why every time you guys say this, I warn you and I say, don't go into that office without an agent. This isn't me trying to promote my agents. This is me trying to save you 2% that you're entitled to. Because the moment you put your name down on a new build without the agent, they just save 2%. So now if an agent represents you, they have to pay the agent. And then if it's your cult agent or somebody you know or a friend or whatever, they could give you some of that money back as a rebate. So, but once you go through without it, then you're fucked. So, yeah. You started without it. They told me to go find one. Good for them. That's the homies. What are your? I tell them to hook up Chads. I say they should, because I say, why would a Chad work with you if you're not going to hook them up? But that's between you guys to figure out. But like I'm telling you, most agents will offer you a rebate on a new build just because it's easy. And they're just going to walk in and get paid, and then they'll give you half of it usually. So I have agents who, when they represent me, they'll give me half of it back. Some will even give me more. So I'm like, it's free money. It's free money, or it's extra money you're going to pay if you didn't know better. But that's 2%. That's a lot of money on $500,000. Did he? I don't know. I think it's the China stuff, but I don't recall a Jamie Dimon. But yeah, any of the China names, they've been going nuts. Oh yeah, you do that. Yeah, Waz does civil aircraft mechanics, and yeah, I think he started at Navy. That's awesome. That's dope. So yeah, you're walking in the same path. The 2% taxable for the agent, but if you get your rebate back, no, I don't think so, because you're going to apply it to the purchase or something, but it shouldn't be. But that, I would leave that to it depends how you recognize it, so leave that to your tax professional. Yeah, look at the SPY's pin, bro. But today had the size. Remember I was telling you like 0.7? Today you actually moved that. So at least that hit, but dude, it's fucking painfully slow. Yeah, likely not taxable. There's our tax guy. But then again, it just all depends how you recognize it. But that's why I keep reminding you guys. Should have a tax person. July strong like boy. It really is though. That's why we're already up 1%. If we hit average, we got 2 more percent. I'm just worried about the front run. If it gets too hot, too fast, it'll sell off and still be green. And then that's pretty much it. And then we do got these events, and now end of, August 1st is now a date. We got EU summit with China, and then you also have the Fed and the jobs.
I'm good. Thank you.
I'm good.
Been pretty busy. Now it's Africa. First Europe, then the Middle East, now Africa. Great people with us. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for being with us today. And I want to thank you, all of these great leaders, for joining us as we welcome to the White House the presidents and prime ministers and various other forms of dignitary to this wonderful place. Is nothing like the White House to me.
Yeah, bro, he put out 2 more.
So
right as he's starting this is with African leaders. And then I think some of them didn't agree because he just put 1 more on Tripoli, Libya, and then 1 on Algeria and Sri Lanka. That just came out.
Very valuable land.
He just posted
great
it
minerals,
4 minutes ago.
Great oil deposits, and wonderful people. Last month,
Yeah,
the
you
U.S.
could use the 2%
Africa Business
to pay
Summit
down
had
the loan.
recorded
Exactly. So you
an
should do.
attendance record, actually, and generated
If it's permanent.
$2.5 billion in new economic deals for the United States. On June 27th, the foreign ministers of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda visited the White House to sign a historic peace agreement that we worked out. They've been fighting for 30 years. 7 million are dead, and they think the number is actually quite a bit higher than that. It's been a long and vicious fight, and I just wanted to say that the countries represented were very happy that we were able to solve that problem. I think over the next couple of weeks, the leaders of both countries will come to sign the final agreement. As you know, we had foreign ministers last week, but we're going to be signing an end to the horrible 30-year war. It's been going on for a long time. I've been reading about it, hearing about it, and it was a vicious war. It was a terrible war. I want to thank our outstanding senior advisor for Africa, Masad Boulos, for helping to mediate this breakthrough. He was very much involved in that settlement. Most people thought it couldn't be done. But there's still much more to be done, and we're going to be facilitating peace also in places like Sudan, where they have a lot of problems, Libya and others. We have there's a lot of anger on your continent, and we've been able to solve a lot of it. My administration is committed to strengthening our friendships in Africa through economic development efforts that benefit both the United States and our partners. And we're shifting from AID to trade. We had AID, or aid as we sometimes call it, right to trade. And trade seems to be a foundation that I've been able to settle a lot of these disputes, like as an example, India and Pakistan. Kosovo, Serbia. I said, you guys are going to fight, we're not going to trade. And we seem to be quite successful in doing that. To that end, we have closed the USAID group to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, which was tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. And we're working tirelessly to forge new economic opportunities involving both the United States and many African nations. There's great economic potential in Africa, like few other places in many ways. In the long run, this will be far more effective and sustainable and beneficial than anything else that we can be doing together. I'm eager to work with each of you on your vital issues and also to discuss security. We've encouraged our staff at the White House to work along with these nations. There's such tremendous wealth there and potential there. We encourage the countries here today to make greater investments in defense, hopefully, of course, buying our equipment, because we do make the best defense equipment. I guess we proved that about 2 weeks ago in Iran, but we make the best equipment, best military equipment anywhere in the world by far. There's nobody close.
So you guys are
and
talking
keep pursuing
shit
the fight against
when
terrorism,
you tell me I sound tired,
which is a big
then,
problem in Africa. Immigration will also be on the agenda, and I hope we can bring
that's
down
what I just realized.
the high rates of people overstaying visas and also make progress on the safe third country agreements. And once again, I want to thank you all for being here, and it's an honor for me. Some of you I've met, and some of you I just got to meet, and I think it would be nice if you said a few words to the press, which is right back here. Do we have a camera over here? It'd be nice if you could, oh, there it is. You could speak to the, you don't want to turn your head so much. I do it a lot. It's not pleasant. But perhaps we could start with you, please. Thank you very much. Great gentleman, by the way.
Merci pour m'avoir donné la parole, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you for giving me the floor, Mr. President. First of all,
Jumia, great.
I would like to thank you.
Be careful.
Thank you, Mr. President Trump,
So any of these headlines, they're not like real headlines. You guys
for inviting
understand
us
that?
to come here today.
So like he didn't say anything about Jumia. People are
I'm
just
President
taking the
Ghazouani,
headline,
president of the
Algo
Islamic
is
Republic of
attaching a
Mauritania.
ticker, and then they're pumping it 5 minutes after
Thank
he
you,
says
Mr.
it.
President.
So just be careful today, because I've seen that a lot.
And the invitation you sent to the other colleagues present here today. This is a very strong message from you, and we are receiving this message very well. This is a message of interest that you're sending to us, and it's a message that you're sending to the whole of Africa. All of this is generous on your part. We are receiving this, and we accept this message from you. Before I talk about my country, I would like to let you know that we are...
No, like, what I'm telling you, and you guys should pay attention to this, because this might be the summer scam. Like, what was it? Coursera? You guys remember? Microsoft came out with a headline about investing in AI education, and then 4 minutes later, Algo produces the ticker Coursera and then tied it to the news, and then it pops. Trump says great opportunity in Africa. 5 minutes later, Algo attaches Jumia and then attaches it to the headline. It pumps. You see what I'm saying? That's happened that's just 2 examples in the last 30 minutes. So like I'm saying, I don't know if those types of moves will have follow through, but it's just one of those low volume, low liquidity. People are going to take the headlines and create opportunity with it. But these aren't like, they're not headlines dropped on the company. Do you get what I'm saying? Jumia is not getting a deal. Jumia is not, they didn't release anything. That was just, again, people guessing. Same thing with Coursera. They didn't get the deal with Microsoft. People are just attributing it to a sympathy. So I hope that helps, because, yeah, it keeps happening.
And now, this conflict is behind us. You are currently working with a great deal of enthusiasm. And you're also working on the Middle East. You're paying a great deal of attention to the Middle East. We all know how far back this conflict goes.
Yep, 10-year auction.
It is a
Get ready for the one issued.
That is about 80 years old. 70 years? But it is also a war that has been raging for a year and a half. And you've also talked about the human toll. Many people have died in this conflict. Of course, you also stopped the war between Iran and Israel. That could have been a real disaster for the region. It's a sensitive region to start with. Your work in favor of peace has been tremendous.
Came in at
and
4.362.
we are also very interested in supporting peace in the same way.
Big bond supply came in lower on
when
the 10-year.
There's no peace, like you said earlier today.
Self-driving
When there's
Waymo
no
makes
peace,
debut in NYC.
A lot of other things are
It went
lacking.
down, but that should pop
when
up.
There's no
It went
peace,
crazy the next day after Atlanta.
It is difficult to have prosperity. It is difficult to have calm, to have a sense of quietness. It's hard to sleep. It's hard to go about your business every day. You understand that well, Mr. President, and you're working on this. So thank you.
Moi, je suis président.
I am the president of Mauritania. Mauritania is a small country. Depending on the criteria you apply. If you look at the number of people who live in Mauritania, it's a small country because we have about 5 million people in Mauritania. We might just be a little bit over 5 million. It's a small country also in the sense that what influence it has throughout the world. It's not like the US, Mr. President.
It's because we're the hottest.
Internationally.
That's right. Nobody can.
We understand that our weight, our influence is not that great, and we have no complex about this.
Good. All right, guys, let's go to Philo.
Because of our level of prosperity, we're not a very prosperous country. We have many problems related to the well-being of our population. But it is also a great country, a big country in
I will
other
see you there, baby.
ways.
Peace. We're going to move to Philo. Good bond option.
Mauritania is a great country in the sense of its strategic position. It is